Okay, Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom. That's all here. We're going to go ahead and start Sabbath class, Sabbath morning reading. As soon as we let everybody get logged online, and we'll start asking new brothers and sisters if they have any questions. But we're going to save a lot of the questions for the end of class as we go into reading. How you doing, bro?
Hi.
You doing good? What was your name again, bro?
Dewan.
Dewan. Okay. All right, bro. Nice to see you again. So we're going to go ahead and start Sabbath reading. And we were back in Job. Everybody go ahead and send the link out. Whoever's online, send that link out. And like I said, we will answer questions, but we're going to go ahead and get Sabbath reading out of the way. We're going to answer questions after class, okay, after the reading. Okay, so we're going to go directly into that. And where are we at?
It's Job chapter 24.
So we're at Job 24. Job, the 24th chapter. As soon as I get the link, I can go ahead and send it out. Remember, the Sabbath day is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. That is the official start of the Sabbath. Okay, the 7th-day Sabbath, because you know you got some brothers going off the new moon Sabbath. Yeah, the new moon Sabbath is different from the 7th-day Sabbath. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. And usually on the Sabbath, you're not doing your pleasure. You're not out partying, dancing, getting drunk and getting high. Well, you should be doing that anyway. You're not out doing your pleasure, trying to keep your mind on the Most High, keep your mind in the spirit of the Most High, the Scriptures. Okay, I'm just stalling a little bit, giving everybody a little time to log on a little bit before we start the reading. So, getting the announcements out of the way. Sabbath, Passover is coming up. We want to keep reminding y'all. We're going to keep doing that till the Passover. It's on April 24th. Okay? So that's coming up. Yeah.
Just want to know that it doesn't cost nothing to come because somebody asked me how much it costs to come.
Oh yeah, it doesn't cost anything to come to the Passover. It is free. Okay. When we talk about the garments, that's for people that's here. That's for people that's here in the school and kind of understand about that. But you brothers and sisters are welcome. You're welcome to come through. It is going to be a big thing. We got a lot of people coming from a lot of states. And, we have the two main camps, which is out of Houston and San Antonio. Okay. And it looks like Dallas is going to really, really go down. Yeah, the water says that it looks like Dallas is going to really go down. So, we're gonna be moving out. We probably what we probably have to do. We probably just have to, like Barnabas is doing in Miami. We have to just get a place down there in Dallas. That way, brothers, something monthly,
Right.
and then we just go stay down there with brothers and teach class. That's how we have to do it. So that's what we're gonna do for Dallas. And it's really up to them. It's really up to them and how far they really want to do this. So those are the announcements. If you want to give any alms, tithes, priest funds, pens, pencils, papers, anything you want to give to the school, we appreciate it. It really helps out the other brothers, sisters that come to class. Okay. We do have an account if you want to put alms, tithes, anything you want to give. It's at Wells Fargo 101-580-6167. Okay. So, do we got anybody on there yet?
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, I'm just trying to stall a little bit, let you brothers and sisters let the brothers and sisters get online. Give them a few more seconds, and we're gonna go ahead and start class. Start the reading. We're in Job what?
Job chapter 24.
All right. Did you have any questions, bro? No? Okay. All right, well, like I said, I was just trying to give them a little second to get on. So the Sabbath reading, we usually do 7 chapters of reading straight through the Bible, straight through the scriptures. So if you're interested in reading straight through the scriptures from Genesis to Revelations, Sabbath morning reading, that's what it's about, okay? And then we're going to touch on the Hebrew a little bit, okay? Because I did tell a sister yesterday from Louisiana that we will touch on the Hebrew a little bit. So we're going to do that today. We're going to touch on the basics of Hebrew and go over that. It would be nice if somebody can come back for that. That way they can. The Hebrew is going to be like towards the end of class, so that'll be more about towards like you figure 1:30. That way the symbols on there they can get them. It'll help out. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and start from Job 24.
Come. This is Job chapter 24. You can say "come" whenever you have it. All right. Job chapter 24 and verse 1. Why? Seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty. Do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge.
Right, and these as we go on into these scriptures, I know we're going to definitely read through, but these are a lot of topics, a lot of things we've been talking about right now, as pointed out in Job 24. So, starting from the first verse, it says, why seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty? Do they not know that do they not know him, not see his days? It says some remove the landmarks. So showing you about the wicked, okay? Showing you about how the wicked establish America. The wicked establishes kingdoms. Right. They remove the landmarks. They remove the landmass. So that's what we're talking about. That's what the Most High is reminding everybody about. This is good for the so-called Christians that want to forget what the Most High remembers. Right. A lot of people want to just throw it, you know what, that was in the past. Well, America is constantly perpetuating the destruction, the lies, the corruption, all these things. Right. And getting landmass and having people, having these nations bow to them through them going over there and creating false wars, whether it be the CIA in Syria, whether it be the Afghan war, whether it be, what happened in Egypt a little while back, the uprisings. All these things are done by, America's dark hand into every little thing. So this reading where we started in Job 24 is really on point to bringing us to the end of what America, has started. Right. The Most High is bringing them to their end. Okay. So go ahead and read on. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Grab that lighter so we can put on some incense.
This is Job chapter 24 and verse 4. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, as wild asses in the desert, go they forth to their work, rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yielded food for them and for their children. They reap everyone his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. Verse 7. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains, and embrace the rock for want of a shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast, and take a pledge of the poor. Verse 10. They cause him to go naked without clothing.
Right. And the question is, has this stopped?
Right.
You know what I mean? Has this stopped? Has America pulled back on, raping and robbing and murdering and lying and deceit? I mean, just look at America itself, and the opportunities they give Americans. It really is just a dream. It's really, our people are grasping for the bottom of the barrel. They're not really able to achieve to where they want to, because how everything was gotten was through corruption and lies and deceit and bloodshed. Whether it's the corporations, straining at the poor man, or America's oil, or America's the water, how they charge you for water, how they rape the earth for the oil, how they do everything in their power to keep the fatherless, the poor, oppressed. That's why I like verse 9. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. What are we fighting for? A lot of people, a lot of Israelites, we have to come back to remember, we're fighting to stop this. Why are we in here trying to change? Why are we in here trying to be right? Because what we're saying is that the wicked needs to come to an end. Right. Wickedness needs to come to an end. A lot of people, this is to keep a lot of us in the right mind, in the right thought process. Because as we're fighting, we get so caught up in the moment that we don't realize that the bigger picture is the Most High is going to destroy this wicked kingdom. So we get caught up in the little Israelite soap opera moment. You're going through your little battles. You're going through your little trials and tribulation. But you don't really understand that that the Most High got something going on behind the scenes. And what that is America's coming down little by little, because all these things and these characteristics did it spark. Come on, hand. Oh, the black hole is spark. No, hand it to me. I'll do it. Have it. Right. So go ahead and read on.
This is verse 6. This is Job chapter 24 and verse 6. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lie without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains, and embrace the rock for want of shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take the pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheep from the hungry, which make oil within their walls, and tread their wine presses, and suffer thirst. Verse 12. Men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out, yet God layeth not folly to them. Verse 13. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof.
Right. So, wow, what verse is that?
This is verse 12.
Verse 12.
Actually, I think it was 13.
That was 13? Yeah. 13, they are those that rebel against the light. So let's get back to understanding two things. It's pointing out that these type of individuals, okay, they don't want righteousness. See, a lot of people don't understand, well, what's the benefit of being righteous? I'm doing this, I'm suffering for good, I'm being patient. But you don't understand where righteousness leads you to doing the right thing. Right? When you rebel against that, well, what's the point of doing what is right in the eyes of the Most High? There will be no point. And it doesn't hold you back because you no purpose. That's why they live by the Aleister Crowley mentality. The do as thou wilt.
Right.
That's why they live by that code, because there's nothing holding them back. They have no standard, they have no code, they have no honor, they have nothing leading them to righteousness. And so it's just do what you want. You know, whether it's sacrificing kids, drinking the blood, eating food, homosexuality, you know, all the way down to, you know, the points that these scriptures are hitting out: rape, rob, murder, pillage, and destruction. Right. You know, there's nothing holding them back. So, it says 13, they are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. It says, the murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and the needy, and in the night is as a thief. And that's what they do from the police officers. Yeah, yes, it's talking about the average Joe, the average crook, but it's more talking about the person that stole the world. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, verse 15. 14 is one of them. Okay. 14. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night it is as a thief. Verse 15. The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and distinguish his face, or Salakia, and disguise it his face. Verse 16. In the dark they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. Verse 17. For the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. He is swift as the waters. Their portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the ways of the vineyards. Verse 19. Drought and heat consume the snow waters. So doth the grave those which have sinned. Verse 20. The womb shall forget him. The worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall no more remember, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. He evil entreated the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon his way, upon their ways. Right. So, once again, this goes with Psalm 73 and Psalms 37. When David said, I almost had slipped when I seen the prosperity of the wicked. The Most High is telling you the outcome of the wicked. You understand? Though you see them flourish as a palm tree, their outcome is they will fall. Right, exactly. So, like it says in verse 20, they shall be no more remembered, and the wickedness shall be broken as a tree. And that's what we hope for. That's what we wait for. And it's coming out then. It's coming out. Yeah. What was? Go back up.
The worm shall feed sweetly on them.
Yeah, death, destruction. You know, these are the things that we got to take into mind as we look around, as you see them coming down. That's why we keep saying it's a constant theme. It's a spirit, because we went over it in class, and now we're reading on it also as far as the Sabbath reading, that their time is short, man. You look at America, their time is short. So I just never understood how that the Christians, you know, they don't look at this. They don't see that. Like, all through the scriptures, it's a constant theme of what's going to happen to the wicked. Right. I don't understand that. Like, yeah, exactly. It's a spirit of blindness. It's like, how are you going to promote this country? How are you going to be with a country that's totally against the word of the Most High?
We lose an episode.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Go ahead.
We'll get it. Verse 21.
Yeah.
Verse 21. He evil entreated the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. Verse 22. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. Verse 24. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar, and make my speech nothing worth?
Right. So he's speaking in the spirit. He's speaking in the spirit of what the Most High is going to do to them. What verse was that?
That was verse 24.
Yeah. Damn, that's cold right there. They are exalted for a little while, man. So just to keep that in mind, man, that goes with, you add to your notes Psalm 73 and Psalms 37. Because their time is coming. All right? So, I mean, y'all don't have no questions on that. That's, I know I'm touching on it and going over it. Did y'all have anything on that? No? Okay. Did you finish 25?
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, that was 24 times. We're on 25 now.
We're on 25.
This is Job chapter 25 and verse 1. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, Dominion and fear are with him. He maketh peace in his high places. Is there any number of his armies? Is there any numbers of his armies? And upon whom doth not his light arise? Verse 4. How then can man be justified with God? Or how can he be clean that is born of a woman? Behold, even to the moon, and it sitteth, and it shineth not. Yea, the stars are not pure in his sight. How much less man, that is a worm, and the Son of Man, who is a worm?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was chapter 25. And that's showing you, man, that in the sight of the Most High, you know, that goes with all the scriptures that says that our righteousness is as a filthy rag, that all have sinned before the Most High. That chapter shows you that as we try to stand before the Most High, we can't try to make ourselves just, which keeps us humble, which keeps us in a humble outlook, and constantly fighting. Now we're constantly striving for righteousness and perfection. Okay? So that's 25. Did y'all have any questions on that? If y'all have any questions on these as we go through, just raise your hand. All right. So go ahead and come up. Come up so you can do two. I'll do two, and then we'll circle it back until other brothers get here or whatever. No, you can stay. You can just come through this side. Go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom.
No. Rayon.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom. Ban Yamyan. Ban Yashal.
Rayon Shabbat Shalom.
Ban
Ban Yasharala.
Right.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat. All right, you gotta get your tribe, bro. Come on. You gotta have your tribe down. You gotta know what tribe you. Mm-hmm. Sorry. All right, make sure you're right there. That's the camera right there. Make sure you're. Come on over. Get nice and tidy up in here, bro. All right. So we're at Job. Yeah, we're at Job 26 now.
Job.
Yeah, go ahead.
Job chapter 26, verse 1. But Job answered and said, How hast thou helped him that is without power? How savest thou the arm that hath no strength? How hast thou counseled him that hath no wisdom? And how hast thou plentifully declared the thing as it is? To whom hast thou uttered words? And whose spirit came from thee? Dead things are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. Hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. He stretcheth out the north over the empty place, and hangeth the earth upon nothing. He bindeth up the waters in his thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them.
Right. So we're at Job, the 26th chapter, okay, and the 8th verse. Okay. And this is starting to go into the majesty of the Most High, the power of the Most High, what the Most High did in creation. Okay. So remember, as we're reading these different chapters, you got Job, Bildad, Eliphaz, and I think one more. It was three? Let's see here. There's three people, right? So it's Eliphaz, Bildad, Job, and it's one more. Zophar. Okay? So you got them communicating with each other. Now, just to give you some understanding, that way people know what they're reading. You got them communicating with each other. Job is in his trials and tribulation at this time. But remember, in the context of these chapters or these letters we're reading, we're finding out that it's proclaiming different things. We just read that the 24th chapter was proclaiming how the wicked's going to fall. But yet it's still, in spirit, remember what we're being taught and shown. But they're communicating with each other. In the 25th chapter, it starts to show you that, he's coming back and telling you, before the Most High, none of us are just. So they're talking back and forth. Then in the 26th chapter, he's coming back and showing you the majesty of the Most High and how great the Most High is. So, once again, why Sabbath reading is important. Because now you're going to get a little more in depth as far as what these chapters are talking about. Then you're going to be better at connecting precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. See, a lot of people don't understand that you can't just use something that don't belong to the point or the chapter or the context. You can't just make it up. It has to go with what it's talking about. Y'all see that? So, this is how these precepts are linked. So that's why Sabbath morning reading is important, especially for the new people, because it's what they don't do at home a lot. You don't sit down and just read a lot. So, during the week, you get the breakdowns and the precept upon precept. Here, Sabbath reading, you get the Hebrew, and then you get these chapters. So, I keep saying that because it is important. All right?
Verse 26. Chapter 26, verse 9. He holdeth back the face of his throne, and spreadeth his cloud upon it. He hath compassed the waters with bounds, until the day and night come to an end. The pillars of heaven tremble and are astonished at his reproof.
Right. So once again, if you're taking good notes, see, this goes with your creation breakdown. Okay. And when we went over Genesis, the first chapter, we went here to show you the creation. This is what the Most High does. This is the power of the Most High, the majesty. Go ahead.
Verse 12. He divided the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smiteth through the proud. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hand hath formed the crooked serpent. Lo, these are parts of his ways, but how little a portion is heard of him. But the thunder of his power, who can understand? Chapter 27.
Okay, so did y'all get that, right?
Come.
Y'all get that? Any questions on that chapter? That was chapter what?
That was chapter 26.
26, right?
Come.
And I want to go here. Where is it at? Oh, it's right 13.
Let me see.
It's right before.
All right, 13.
Job chapter 26, verse 13. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hand hath formed the crooked serpent.
Right, but I wanted to, let me see. Right, right. So that's what I wanted. At certain times when it talks about the crooked serpent, uh, it's talking about Leviathan. Okay, but also at certain times it's talking about and it's going to go into Job. If we already didn't read over it, we probably already read over it, but it talks about the stars and things of that nature. But right here it's talking about Leviathan. Okay, and it's going to go into Leviathan as we read, as you keep reading, it's going to go into all that. So I just wanted to bring out that point. Otherwise, let's go to chapter 27. So you read to, okay, go ahead.
Job chapter 27, verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, As God liveth, who hath taken away my judgment, and the Almighty, who hath vexed my soul? All the while my breath is in me, and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast, and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live. Let my enemies be as the wicked, and he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the hypocrite? Though he hath gained, when God taketh away his soul. Will God hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him? Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon God? I will teach you by the hand of God. That which is with the Almighty will I not conceal. Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house about as a mob, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departed. And as a storm hurleth him out of his place, for God shall cast upon him and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand.
Okay.
Oh,
So what verse you at?
I'm at 22.
27, 22?
Okay.
So y'all see, once again, this is a constant theme in the scriptures. We just brought it out. And when you go back to verse 24, chapter 24, it brings it out. I love this part right here, but it tells you from verse 8 on down, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, when the Most High taketh away his soul?
Yeah, this is then it comes down and tells you in verse 18, verse 16, though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on. So yeah, white man, America, they're building this kingdom. They're building a lot of things, but guess who that's for? That's for you Israelites. That's for the chosen. That's for the righteous. Yeah.
So could you do a precept when it comes to Isaiah 60, when it says about how they bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's what it's talking about.
It's for us.
It's for us. Yeah. All right. Y'all had anything on that? Yeah.
Also, when it says in verse 8, 27 and 8, 9, it says, will God hear his cry when trouble is coming upon him? Mm-hmm. And that just brought me back to the precept of John.
Right.
I don't know, because there's multiple, but John 9:31, how he says he doesn't listen, how God does not listen to the prayers of the sinners.
John 9:31? Pull that.
I was wondering if that meant that.
That's that. Yeah, of course. I mean, I want to hear the precept. That's cold though. Yeah. That's real powerful. Will the Most High hear his cry? Verse 9. Though trouble come upon him, but that goes back to Proverbs 1:22. You know, he says he will mock at their calamity. Yeah. Well, go ahead, read where you at.
John chapter 9 and verse 31. You can say comment whenever you have it. All right. Now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if a man be a worshiper of God, he doeth his will, he heareth.
Yeah, that's hardcore. So yeah, that goes right with that. Yeah, and then Proverbs, when you go back to Proverbs, see, this is that's what I like about the reading. Oh, wait till we get in all that. Proverbs, this
1:26.
Yeah. Is it? Right. Proverbs 1:26. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Right. Verse 28. They shall call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. Yeah. Yeah, that goes right with that.
And you know,
go ahead.
It just reminds me when I read that, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand the spirit of the Most High, because he really don't think like we do. And everybody thinks that God is a man of love. Yeah, he's a man of love, but he's a father though too. So he'll chastise his children. And I see a lot of people out here when they get in accidents or different type of tragedies. And I think about that because half the time, oh God, we're on a plane, turbulence started happening.
No,
oh God, but man, the Most High's not there, man. Listen, y'all don't follow his ways, y'all don't listen to him.
He's not here. Right.
That's rough. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Do his will.
That's cold. I'm over here trying to get these precepts. All right. So where we at?
I just have one verse left.
Yeah, one verse. Okay.
Men. Job chapter 27, verse 23. Men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of his place.
That's it. Yeah, and that goes into Isaiah 14. You know, where Isaiah 14 and where they say, is this the man? Is this the man that did weaken the nations? Yeah, yeah.
Also, he said something about Isaiah, the 68th chapter earlier, how they said, like the ships of Tarshish, I guess, is going to bring his people from afar. That's also a precept for Isaiah 14, chapter 2, also, isn't it correct? Of how Isaiah 14, beginning, how I say that strangers shall bring the people from
Right, yeah. Isaiah 14 to 2, yeah.
And they shall make them servants of whose service they was,
right.
Whose slave they was, so that's a precept, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. All right, so you just did one chapter, right?
I did two.
You did two already? All right, then let me do two, and then we'll come back So it'd be 2, 4, 6, and then we'll come back. I could do 2, one more. So we're at Job. We're at Job. These chapters kind of went quick, and I'm talking about them, so they kind of went quick. That was 4 chapters already. I mean, y'all don't got no questions on those. Nobody has anything. You know what? I ain't even check online. I'm tripping. Let me check online real quick. See if anybody has any questions on these chapters. And then if not, we'll just go ahead and continue the reading. Okay, let's see here. Excuse me, I'm not sure. Okay, so just checking to see if anybody got any questions on there. Nah, no questions so far. All right, if y'all have any questions, go ahead and hit us up. If you also, after the reading, we're going to go over questions in class. So go ahead and save those questions to the end if you have any other questions outside of the reading. All right, so we're at Job, the 28th chapter. Okay. Surely there is a vine, the silver, and a place of gold where they find it. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass is molten of the stone. He setteth an end to darkness, and searcheth out all perfection. The stones of darkness and the shadow of death. The flood breaketh out from the inhabited. It says, even the waters forgotten of the flood, they are dried up. They are gone away from men. As for the earth, out of it cometh bread, and upon it turneth up as it were fire. The stones of it are the place of sapphires, and it has dust of gold. It says, there is a path which no fowl knoweth, and which the vulture's eyes have not seen. The lion's whelp have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion passed by it. He putteth forth his hand upon the rock, he overturneth the mountains by the roots. All right, I'm just trying to figure out where, okay, 27. Let's about the wicked surely. Okay, all right, verse 10. He cutteth out rivers among the rocks, and his eyes seeth every precious thing. He bindeth the floods from overflowing, and the things that is hid bringeth he forth to light. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. So, y'all get what's going on? He's proclaiming the majesty and the power of the Most High. The things that are hidden, we can't see, right? The Most High sees them, right? So the question is, but where is wisdom found? You know, where did wisdom start from? You know, where did wisdom begin? It began with the Most High, right? That's the question. And where is the place of understanding, right? Well, we know that it started with the Most High. All right? It says, the depth saith, it is not in me, and the sea saith, it is not with me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx or the sapphire. So once again, this as we go through Proverbs, we're going to constantly see that theme also, that the preciousness of wisdom and what it's worth. You know, we don't think like that these days. Our people don't think like that, that this wisdom and knowledge is worth more. We, the white man, America, the ideology of America has put in our head that money means more. Money means more. Living means more. Society, woman means more. Cars means more. Twerking means more. Yeah.
Would you agree that wisdom is a way of thinking, right?
Wisdom is a way of thinking, yes.
It means that the white man's wisdom is different from the wisdom that we are having from the Lord, right?
Right.
We get from the Lord. Like their wisdom is how to get over, like such as, telling your women that, you can use this to manipulate your man, or, how to play like mind games, basically just a mind tactic.
Well, it's the thought process of the wicked, right?
Yeah.
We know it's different from what the Most High says. So when it speaks of wisdom, remember, this is not a man's wisdom. This is of the Most High's wisdom. And the wisdom of the world is wickedness, right? So yeah, that's the variance, that's the difference, that's the battle that we're dealing with. Their mind, or what they put in us, as opposed to the mind of the Most High.
Would you agree that the white man is trying to go around the world and enforce his way of thinking upon other nations?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like basically coming after their women first, saying women's rights and stuff like that.
Right. Just like they did the black man and the Puerto Rican man and the Native American in the 70s. They went to the women.
That's what I was really trying to precept it back to the Garden of Eden. What happened back there. Of how that wisdom that the woman had gotten was a way of thinking, basically how to do this and do that, how to get over her husband, how to change up the order. That's what we're living in today. It's like a repeat.
Absolutely.
Basically, the Most High just, I can say, we manifest what was going on in the Garden of Eden today. But that's
right.
the times that we're living in.
Yeah, well, that's on point though. That's real on point because it just shows that there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody tries to figure out, well, what was it that in the Garden of Eden that they were searching for? It's the same thing that Satan proposes now. These things, the things of the world, the things of the carnal mean more and should mean more to you. This is what Satan always is telling our people. Yeah.
There was one thing I learned. It was that sin and death came in the beginning of this world. In the book of Revelation at the end, sin and death will be written of. So what I was thinking of how the Most High bring back these same type of characters back to undo that which was done in the beginning. Like just as it was in the beginning, so it is at the end. In order for us to undo the sin, we must bring back those characters back and undo it. Now basically saying how like sin and death will be written away with. In the book of Revelation, after the serpent is gone into like the lake of fire,
right?
Destruction. Basically, saying that it's like almost like the same kind of setup in Genesis.
Right. Well, that's why it says the first Adam was a living soul, the second Adam was a living spirit. That second Adam was Christ. He was a form of an Adam coming back and redoing and fixing what was done in the beginning. And right what you said, that exactly what you said, showing that he's going to destroy what Adam gave into, what Adam fed into, which was Satan. Yeah.
And ultimately destroying that spirit by allowing our Lord Yahushua to become that second Adam in spirit and allow his spirit to be in us to recreate that image of how we are supposed to be in God's image, which is spiritually like him.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
For us to have that, authority as we once had.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. That's scripture. That's book. That's book. Yeah. So verse 17. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be for Jews of fine gold. It says, no mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, or the price. It says, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. So, that's what we have to, the battle, I keep taking yours. The battle to get our people to understand that. To seek first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things shall be established unto you. That's the problem. That's the battle. But, coming into truth, being put in a predicament to have to give up and lose and be charitable and have to give these things. Like Christ said, go and sell everything you have. You know, that puts you in the right mind. That dumps you in the spirit of having to do it.
Right.
You know, and you know, we constantly talk about this all the time. You know, about why a lot of brothers and sisters don't get it. A lot of them sit back and think, oh yeah, I'm not having those problems. This is easy. Right. Because you're not doing it yet. You're not giving it up for wisdom. You're not putting yourself in the predicament to have to, you know, be patient, kind, long-suffering, and all these things, and keep doing the work of the Most High. So let me read out verse 8. You had something?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me know if they pop up with any question on there. All right, verse 18. It says, no mention shall be made, no, verse 19. It says, the topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then cometh wisdom? And where is the place of understanding? See, it is hid from the eyes of all living and kept closed from the fowls of the air. Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. The Most High understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven. Man, to make the weight of the winds, and he weighed the waters by measure, when he made a decree for the rain, and a way of the lightning of the thunder. Then did he see it, and he declared it, he prepared it, yea, and searched it out. And unto men he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, to depart from evil is understanding. So, you know, he finished it up showing you how do you get the wisdom? The fear of the Lord. Right? And that's understanding, yeah.
Can I read 24 through 27 in there?
Well, is it right with this?
It's just right here. Yeah,
No, I'm saying, is it right? What? Why are you jumping back?
Oh, I was just saying, like, it's crazy how he says to make the weight for the winds, and he measured the waters.
Oh, okay, so
like, that's how he does that. It's like crazy. Like, how can you weigh the whole winds on this earth?
Oh, you see it right here, 20. Oh, yeah. It says, for he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight of the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. Yeah, who can do that? Who can, yeah, the white man will give you a false number, though. They'll swear, well, according to the amount of, when you look at the earth, is 90% water, right? And you'll be looking like, damn, they wise. Yeah, they know a lot, but they don't know. That's what they try to measure the stars or the depth of the universe. They try to measure the depth of the universe or the matter, you know, and try to calculate it. And you're like, look at that thing and like, dang, wow, they know. But Esau just makes everything damn up. Now we're finding out that they didn't land on the moon, that was a hoax, that they can't go past a certain point in outer space, but they're telling us all these things. You know what I mean? And we're believing them. You know, so, you know, why is that, though? To come back and try to discredit. And when you look at the Bible, you're like, my scientists know more. My scientists, you know, my scientists are the deep people. But let me just throw one in there. Go to, was it Corinthians? I think it might be 1 Corinthians 3. Verse 19, yeah. Go ahead, read that.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
You can say comment when you have it. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
Yeah, and that's that. When as you see Job, you see how Job is dropping this. You see how Job is bringing this out about wisdom. it's to remind us that the wisdom of this world is nothing. It's foolishness. And that's the problem. That's the problem. The problem is that we're not getting it. Our people don't get it. They're still upholding the white man as God. They're still holding their wisdom up as God. And a lot of people don't understand, man. This is here. This is in the scriptures. Our wisdom is here. Before the white man knew it, man, you know, they're all their Greek theologians or philosophers. Where did they get it from? They got it from our scrolls that they took in Greece and Rome from their ancestors. You know, when it comes to the zodiac, when it comes to the stars, you know, whether they stole it from the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, you know, because even in their period, when they started, you know, not saying our people at that point was on point, because they weren't. They were off too. But even being off, we were still connected and we still had a lot of knowledge. You know, they stole every damn thing. You know, and this is what we have to remember, man, to humble down back to the Most High. You would say, well, why is that important? That wisdom comes from the Most High. Because you look at the white man, you got your head up his ass all the time, and you're looking like he's the man.
Right.
When their wisdom is foolishness.
Right.
Go ahead. Read it one more time. You, 3:19.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Right, you know what that means? Y'all know what that means?
All the little tricks and deceptions that sooner or later is going to come to life.
Right, but you know how they think they're so crafty and they're so you're right, but they're so crafty and they're so their trickery has deceived themselves so much that they themselves are so blinded by their own trickery, by their own mathematics, by their own lies. You know, that the Most High is like, I got you. Your own deception is going to overcome you.
Right.
You know, and that's what we have to stay away from. We have to stay away from, you know, we have to understand, man, that deception is going to, if you let it overcome you,
right,
you're going to deceive yourself. But just one more scripture with that, James 3, verse 15. Yeah, oh yeah, yes, sir. James 3, verse
13.
James 3, verse 15.
James chapter 3, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
This wisdom descended not from above.
Right, and why is it? Well, when you read it, James, it's telling you about the carnal wisdom of this world. It descends not from above. It ain't coming from the Most High.
Right.
Go ahead.
But it's earthly.
But it's what?
Earthly.
Yeah, they're not intelligent, man, and they're not as they're making themselves out to be. Go ahead.
Sensual.
It's what?
Sensual.
Yeah, and that's what it comes back down to. It comes back down to, you know, that it's about feeling what they feel.
Right.
You know, their hypothesis, they're guessing. Right. But it's really not about how the Most High thinks. Right. Just like you were saying earlier about how the Most High does things. You know, you think it's not love for the Most High to wipe some people off the face of the earth. Right. You know, as a father, when you put that ass whooping down on your son, isn't that the best thing for him? Huh. See, the Most High doesn't do it angrily like we do it. Right. You know, like he doesn't just lash out and, boy, I'm going to take out all my emotions from work, from my job, from my life, and put it right into this belt and beat you. The Most High don't do that. The Most High, his anger is not like our anger. You know what I mean? His wrath is not like our wrath. His displeasure is not like our displeasure. You know, even his hate is not like our hate. So that's why he even told you. He tells you, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. But he comes back and tells us not to hate Esau. Because our hate is through emotions. Right. Our hate is on a whole, his hate is like David said, a perfect hatred. You know what I mean? And that we can't understand that. So he's like, listen, that's not for you. Right. You know, even like a lot of people, Christians or Christianity, they say, well, I can't deal with a jealous God. He tells you not to be jealous, but he's jealous. Because his jealousy is not like our jealousy.
Right.
It's
not human.
Yeah, it's not human. It's not, I'm jealous because your hair or your clothes or your car. Most High's not even on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we can't comprehend this. That's why it says that the wisdom of this world is foolishness. It's sensual. Right. You're trying to equate the feeling of a carnal mind to the spirituality of the Creator. It can't be compared. That's why learning this, it brings us on that higher level of spirituality. Yeah.
Dang.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm tripping myself out of that. I'm like, it's so powerful, man.
Because I was thinking about even when it goes back to Ecclesiastes, saying that the knowledge of the wicked is not wisdom.
Yeah.
Once again,
where's that at?
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 19 verse 22.
Right.
But what man, it's heavy because it says that the wisdom of the wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence.
Right.
But the thing about it is that they want that wisdom, but the Most High didn't give it to them. And what it brings it back to is that Matthew chapter 13, when they ask about the parables, about why they couldn't. But what it says at the end, it says that if you have, let me read this real quick. This is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 11. And this is when the disciples asked Christ about why you speak in parables. This is 11. He answered and said it to them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. And that's the thing about it, the wicked, they don't have, so they just start to pull from any kind of area, and that's emotion. They want it, they yearn for it, right. But the Most High didn't drop it to them.
That's on point. That's on point. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Y'all get that? Huh? Y'all with us? Hello? Anybody there? Y'all get it, right? Y'all good? Okay. We got anything on here? Just checking. All right. So, where am I at? We jumping around so much. I'm trying to make this.
That's another thing about the fear of the Lord. That's the first step.
Right.
To wisdom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where? 29? All right. So, the 29th chapter. We had Job 29:1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, "Oh, that I were in months past, as in the days when the Most High preserved me, when his candle shine upon my head, and when his light, I walk through darkness." It says, "As I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of the Most High was upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil." So just showing you that, remember, Job is in a mourning state. He's going through trials and tribulation. The Most High is getting on him, right? So this is what he's coming back and saying, man, I wish I was back in the good eyesight of the Most High. Okay, verse 7. When I went out to the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, the young men saw me and hid themselves. And the aged arose and stood up. The princes refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. Why? Because when he spoke with wisdom. You understand? They gave respect to let him speak. Remember we were talking about it the other day when it says you go before elders or wise. Yeah, a few words, comprehending much in few words, but knowing when you read down, it tells you basically you're knowing when to speak. So he's saying here, they let me speak. They let him speak because he was with wisdom. The nobles held their peace and their tongues clave to the roof of their mouth. When the ears heard me, then it blessed me. And when the eyes saw me, it gave witness to me. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help. Also, showing you the characteristic of Job in righteousness. You know what I mean? He wasn't just, Job was a righteous man. He's showing you what he was doing, what made him righteous. It says, the blessing of him that was ready to perish upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness as it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and as a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. And I break the jaws of the wicked, and pluck the spoil out of his teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters. Why does it say that? Why does it say my root was spread out by waters? See, these are things that when you reading through the scriptures, these are precepts. But he said that why? Because when you read in Psalms, he said the righteous man is a tree planted by waters. Right? He's constantly being watered. So his roots dug deep. The wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, it dug deep. Right? Remember he says in John that out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Why? Because the Most High, he uses the symbolism as man being as a tree. Okay? It says, my glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear and waited, and kept silence at my counsel. After my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. So there's that slang in the Bible. He said he dropped it on them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, that when you give that wisdom and people listen, it's you know how it hits certain people like, bam. This is what Job is saying. Y'all get it, right? Huh? Y'all with us, brothers? Okay. We got a lot of head nods. Go ahead. It says, and they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. Why? Because remember the scripture says that the washing of the water by the word. So this is showing you that wisdom is equated to as water. That's the thirst. That's the rain that is going to heal them. Right? Y'all see that, right? So you see how I'm linking all these other precepts with just every scripture he's saying?
Sir, ooh.
What's another one?
No, what I was just thinking about whenever he said that this has been, he was talking about how whenever he was going through his problem, he still had the widow's heart and had joy.
Right.
So even during his tribulation, he was still joyous.
Right. Verse 23. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. And I laughed on them. It said, if I laughed on them, they believed it not. And the light of my countenance they cast not down. I choose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforted the mourners. So you see that Job was wise. Right. Yeah, wisdom.
Let's say, smart as a serpent, harmless as a dove.
Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove.
So is he saying right there on 23 and down that they was basically wanting to see his?
They were waiting for his wisdom. No. Remember, it says, and they waited for me as for the rain. Right? Remember 22.
Right.
After my words, they spake not again, meaning that, like it says, he dropped it on them. Right. That's cold. It says, and my speech dropped upon them. So they were waiting for him, like, let's see what this cat got to say. Job is wise. They were ready to hear than to give the answer of fools. Right? Okay. So we got that, right? Did I just read one or two? That was the second chapter?
Actually, that was the first one.
That was my first chapter? Oh, he did 28? Okay. All right, chapter.
I did 24.
You did 27?
I did 26 and 27.
I think I did 28 and 29. Okay. All right. So we'll do one more chapter. All right. We'll do one more chapter, man. These are good chapters, though. Okay, chapter 30. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have not disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Now this chapter, he's going into speaking about Esau.
Right.
He's going into speaking about how that these people that he wouldn't even have with his dogs. He said they have him in derision. That means that he was brought down to the point to these heathens.
Right.
Remember, he dwelt in the land of Uz. He dwelt around these nations.
Right.
Okay? Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness to former time, desolate and waste. So now you're reading about how the white man got into the caves. You understand? They went into these desolate places. They didn't have no wisdom.
Right.
You know, remember Esau, man. Esau had the curse on him too. He had that leprosy on him.
Right.
Right? It says, who cut up the mallows by the brushes and the juniper roots for their meat. They were driven from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys. So how do we know it's talking about Esau? Because when you go to Obadiah, it tells you his habitation is high and he dwells in the cliffs of the rocks. So Job 30 is in spirit speaking of Esau and their how they dwell. Y'all got that? It says, to dwell in the cities of the valleys and the caves of the earth and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now am I their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhorred me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face, because he had loosed my cord and afflicted me. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand, rise the youth. They push away my feet, and they rise up against me in the ways of their destruction. They mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They came upon me as a wide breaking in, wide breaking in the waters. In the desolation they rolled themselves upon me. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passes away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me, and the days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. It says, by the great force of my disease is my garment changed. It bindeth me about as the collar of my coat. He hath cast me into the mire, and I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou doest not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me not. Thou art become cruel to me. With the strong hand thou upholdest thyself against me. Opposes thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to see the wind. Thou causest me to ride upon it, and dissolvest my substance. For I know that thou wilt bring me to death, and to the house appointed for all living. Howbeit he will not stretch out his hand to the grave, though they cry in his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? When I looked for good, then evil came unto me. And when I waited for light, there came darkness. My bowels boiled and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. My heart also is turned to mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. So we know that was him talking about his affliction and what the Most High was whooping him, man. Most High was testing him. But as we're gonna find out as we keep reading next Sabbath, we understand that Job prevailed and he held his integrity up the whole time. You know, he never cursed the Most High. He never talked against the Most High.
In verse 13,
yeah,
was it speaking on when it says they have no helper? He was talking about Esau.
Verse 13. Right.
See, yeah, that brings everything to understanding, like how, Esau themselves, like even Donald Trump right now.
Yeah.
How they have, the little people in the rallies where they're pushing black people out, women pushing them.
Right.
Like these cats, and I can see why he was saying that they have no leader, no understanding, and have no helper to control what's going on with them. You know what I'm saying? They have like no conscience and stuff like that. Okay, I can see that in today right now. You getting shot on the street. Yeah, why? Because they have no conscience, nobody to be like, that's not right.
Nobody's guiding them by the scriptures, by the spirit of wisdom. Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Okay, so we finished that. Do y'all have any questions on that? Anybody have any questions on the chapter? No? Okay. All right. Checking out if anybody got any questions here online. None? Okay. All right. So listen, that was the 7 chapters. That was the 7 chapters. Do y'all have we're gonna open it up for questions on anything on the topic, off the topic. Y'all have anything? Nobody? I mean that's the reading. We usually read 7 chapters. They were just quick. These chapters were really quick, so. But we do want to open it up. I'll give them a little second if anybody has any questions on that. If not, I'm going to touch on some basics of Hebrew. So we'll touch on a little basics of Hebrew because the sister did ask about the Hebrew. Okay, so we're giving them a little second for the feed to get to them, and if they don't have any biblical questions, we're going to go over the Hebrew. All right. Yeah, but this is where y'all should be linking your precepts in Job. Y'all should, as we read through these chapters, y'all should be taking good notes. Putting precepts where they need to be. Let's see here. Yes, let's go ahead.
Can I get the scripture on Easter, Halloween, and Christmas, and birthday? Why we don't celebrate?
Oh, why we don't celebrate? Let's go to the easy one. Let's go to Christmas first. Go to Jeremiah 10:1.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1.
Right, so the sister in class asked about why we don't celebrate Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So we're going to start with Christmas. Well, we know that Christmas is a heathenistic custom, okay? Christmas doesn't have nothing to do with the Bible, okay? And this custom that started, you could go all the way back to Nimrod, whether Nimrod started it, then coming through to the Assyrian Empire, coming to the Africans, then all the way to the Greeks, the Romans. Whatever God it transcended to, all nations have some God that comes from worshiping this Christmas tree. Okay? And go in there and look and see it in that bag. You see it in my Babylon, the Timbuktu. So not Babylon to Timbuktu, the two Babylons. It should be in there. I hope I threw it in there. Okay, so you can read Jeremiah 10:1. So we'll just touch on Christmas real quick. Why don't we as believers, as the true believers, celebrate Christmas? One, because first of all, there was no Christmas tree in the Bible. Two, when Christ was there, that had nothing to do with his birth. Okay. Two, the Christmas tree is a staple in the Bible, but we're going to find out we weren't supposed to worship the tree. Okay? So remember, we got to remember the basics when it comes down to this. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said. Where do I find in the Bible that we sat gifts before the tree on December 25th? You can't find that. Okay? You can't find that. I thought I brought that, dude. I brought my whole different bag just to have my books prepared. And I ain't got the books.
It's working, bro.
Huh?
It's out there working.
I know, right? I gotta, God dang it. Anyway, the book is called The Two Babylons, man. Dude, I brought my whole bag, I'm sorry, just to have my books here, and I forgot to add that book to there. But when you, yeah, question, bro?
Yeah, I guess holidays are like days of remembrance, correct?
What holidays?
Like, say for instance, like, people worship the 4th of July, it's like independence. That's like a holiday. But
Right, there's the holidays, yeah.
But that's not for us, though, That's for, particularly like the white man. That's his holiday right there.
Right.
Our holiday would be like the Passover. That is the day, but those are remembrance for us, getting out of Egypt. Those are, remembrance of the Most High, our God. So that's like our holidays right there.
Right.
That we worship.
Right. Yeah, we don't celebrate these holidays, but we're gonna touch on it. Let's go to Jeremiah 10:1. Read that first. Read that real quick.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Right. So, sis, on your question, we have to understand that the first point that Jeremiah is making is that we're not supposed to learn the way of the heathen. Now, the funny thing is that Jeremiah is during the time of the Babylonian Empire. So the Babylonians started with these customs. They started with these customs of worshiping the tree. Nimrod died. They said his spirit went in the tree, right? And then you bring gifts to the tree. And this is how you serve him, okay? This is where this custom comes from. I'm kind of beating myself up right now because I meant to put that book in there. So I'm going to try to find it online to give you just a little more information on, the Christmas tree outside of the scriptures. But even history even brings this out that December 25th, first of all, is not in the Bible. Christ was born more during the springtime, not when everything dead. Remember, Christ's whole being, his whole existence represented life. Why would you be born in the dead of the winter? Right? Where everything's dying. Well, Christ represented life. He was born during the time of life and regeneration, which is spring. Yeah.
Does these holidays, like all of them, is worship the pagan gods?
Well, when you deal with majority, I mean, outside of 4th of July, that's obviously the committee, when they're independence of America, which has nothing to do with us. But when you deal with Easter, that's a heathenistic custom. Bunnies don't lay eggs, but that goes back to worshiping gods. Okay? That goes to fertility god. Okay? Then we're going to find out about Christmas. What else they got? Then you got Halloween. Okay, you got this book called The Fossilized Customs. When you go into Halloween, this was worshipped as this was days witches got together.
Right.
Yeah, and sacrificed kids. This is in this book. It's called Fossilized Customs. I don't got that one either. I'm not prepared and I'm mad. But in this book, it goes into that they would basically, just on the Halloween one, they would basically burn the kids. Burn the kids, and they would take that, it was like part of their body, and use it for candle wax. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is where you get the candles, the lighting of the candles, and these things. And this was in that one book, The Fossilized Customs Man. It goes into all these customs, how they're Babylonian, they're either idolatry or worshiping of other gods. It has nothing to do with the Most High. But to make it simple, you know, not having those books that further edify. Remember, are those in the scripture? Does it tell you about worshiping ghouls and goblins and dressing up like demons in the Bible? That's why I remember the basics. He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said. You know, like the sister, you asked him the question. Like when you deal with people and you might not have the books that I don't have right now, right? How do you approach it? Well, let's go to the scripture real quick. Hold that in Jeremiah, and go to was it St. John 7:38? He that believeth on me. Read that one for me real quick.
This is John chapter 7.
Is it 7:38? All right.
St. John's chapter 7, verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said,
Right.
out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Right. So you see that, right? So we're supposed to believe on Christ as the scriptures have said. So I know you're asking this question probably to help you out, but also to inform other people, right? Sis? So this is one scripture you want to show them. Where is it in the Bible? You know, where does the scripture say anything about a Christmas tree, Halloween, what other false holidays? Easter. We're going to get into that.
Easter, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving is like, why would you celebrate the day that your people were slaughtered?
Right.
That's stupidity. Like, especially you being a 9.5.
Right.
You being an Aztec, a Mayan, the Incas, the Toltecs, you know, which is the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the North American Indians, the Seminole Indians, the people from Argentina. Remember, you're just Indians. Those are you when you say Puerto Rican, those were the Boricua and Taino Indians.
Right.
That's all that is. When you say you're Mexican, you just you come from the Aztecs, the Mayan, the Aztecs. I think the Mayans are more like Colombian. Yeah, I think they're more like Colombian. So, but you understand, like, why would you celebrate that day, those days? You know, that just represents death. And we can still go into the scriptures and show about those days that, you know, he that promoted, or, you know, he that sit with him that, you know, is a murderer or killer. We don't supposed to do that. So on all levels, we can attack all of these different different holidays. Okay, so go from there, Isaiah 8:20. And I'm just trying to give her basic scriptures. That way, when she deals with individuals out in the street, or she deals with individuals, she could tell them, you know, hey, listen, it's not in the Bible. Right? He that believes by me is supposed to be as the scripture have said, not as what people make up. If that's the case, we can make up. What's that one religion the so-called Negroes worship? They came up with it in the 80s.
Who worships?
It's called no, the so-called Negroes, Judah, they worship that one. The one they came up with is it's sort of like it's a black holiday, and they just made this up, Kwanzaa.
So the African.
Yeah, it's like Kwanzaa. Yeah.
It's like an African Christmas.
Yeah, it's like an African Christmas. This is like made up, but the so-called Negro, they try to adopt themselves to that. We ain't got nothing to do with Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? We ain't got nothing to do with these made-up holidays, man. So read that, Isaiah 8, verse 20.
It's Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Right. So you see that? It says you have to bring them back to the basics. If they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. So they got to prove where it says Christ was born on December 25th. They got to prove where the Christmas tree is to be worshipped.
Right. They
They got to prove where it says it's okay to dress up like ghouls and goblins and demons.
Right.
They got to prove that. If they can't prove that, there's no light in them.
Right.
So what we're doing is proving that the Most High don't have nothing to do with these days. Go to Amos 5:21 real quick, and then we'll jump back to Jeremiah.
Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
He said what?
I despise your feast days.
Yeah, the scripture says, I despise your feast days. Why? Because you know what our feast days end up being? Worshiping other gods. Worshiping trees. Worshiping stocks. Worshiping silver bulls and gold bulls.
Right.
You know, to these other gods and these other philosophies. You understand that? And that's what you give your kids to. You're worshiping these things, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and it's just for the kids. The scripture says, teach the kids, train the kids, and when you train them, they're going to grow up to be, right? Why the hell would you train them being liars? You understand that? So these are the things that, like I said, I'm just giving, the sister asked a question, I'm just giving her a little ammo on that. I'm trying to find this in the two Babylons. I actually found it here online. Where you at?
Matthew 15:3, why do you send dress communities without your tradition?
There you go. Let's do that.
This is Matthew chapter 15 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
It says, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Right, and that's the thing, that the traditions that we serve is not the traditions of the Most High. It's the traditions of men. Yeah, go ahead. That's hot. That's hot right there.
And this is, if you jump down to verse 9. But in vain they do worship me.
Right.
Actually, so I can go.
Yeah.
Verse 8. These people draw not unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teachings for doctrines, the commandments of men.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's what we do. We teach the doctrines and the commandments of men.
Right.
So, once again, it says, we're giving you a little ammo. That way you can go ahead and fire at them when they talk about, oh, well, you know what? It's for the kids. We're supposed to do it for the Most High. You got another one?
Just about you worship. Really,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. That's on point.
This is John chapter 4 and verse 22.
On point. Go ahead.
It says, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's John 4:22. Yeah, John 4:22. He's showing you that we don't know what we worship. And that's a lot of things when dealing with these nations.
Right.
They don't know what they worship. They don't know what they're getting into.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's on point. All right, so y'all get that, right? Y'all see that? Now, this is in the two Babylons. I found it, luckily. I ain't got my books, but you can get the book. You need it. You need it being an Israelite, because it goes into all the Babylonian customs, all these false holidays that we worship. Okay? So, you know what? Let's go back to Jeremiah first, and then we'll go into this. And it's good to have a little references outside of the scriptures that coincide with the scriptures.
Right.
That way you can show them. This is also known. It's been known through history that these customs at Christmas was made up. Okay? But we want to first substantiate the Bible as being doctrine. All right? So read that. Go ahead. 10 and 1.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So you see that? We got to keep that resonating in our mind.
Right.
Learn not the way of the heathen. In what? That doesn't just apply to Christmas. That applies to everything. Learn not the way of the heathen. We get caught up into these heathenistic customs, and they're not of the Most High. They're not of the scriptures. You know, and in rehearsing the righteous acts and getting better, we will get better. But we gotta, now you gotta separate, tell mom, no, we're not going over there for Christmas. No, we're not going over there. Do you know what Thanksgiving commemorates? Would you celebrate Slave Day? Would you celebrate Slave Day when we all came over here on cargo slave ships and were whipped and beat and shitted on and peed on and killed and thrown over ships? Then why would I sit down with you and give God thanks on a day that commemorates death? That don't make any damn sense. You just raise your hand amongst them and say, well, how about, you know, cousin such and such that died or auntie such and such that died? How about we come together and on that day they died and give thanks that they died? Right. Like, who would do something idiotic as that? Well, us. We know not what we worship. Right. You know what I mean? You don't do that. But that's how the white man mocks us. That's how America mocks us. Like, look at these idiots. Look at you. You sit there and celebrate the death of your own people. You understand? Thanksgiving, Halloween we're talking about. 4th of July. You know what you were doing on the 4th of July? You think you was popping firecrackers? No, you was a nigga or you was an engine. You was a nigga or an engine or a tree monkey. Right. You know what I mean? They weren't looking at you, oh, it's independence for all people, like they try to show up the Patriot and on these movies. Like, no, you were still, no matter if you were in their military, you were still a nigga. They didn't look at you with righteousness and holiness. Right. Our people, man, it's a trip. They figured because they could be inducted into their military and help them die and die for their false cause that they're part of something. We're American now. Have you seen that movie Patriot with Mel Gibson? Right. It's like you accept it now. You can die for us, Negro.
On Glory.
Yeah.
The movie Glory.
Oh, yeah, the movie Glory, the same thing. Like, I want to fight to die for you and be accepted as a human being. That's stupidity. Right. It's stupidity, man. So learn not the ways of the heathen. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Yeah, you know why? Because during these Babylonian customs, what were the magicians, the soothsayers, the magi, what were they into? The reading of the stars, looking in the heavens. You know, it goes back to Adam, it goes back to Satan. You know what I mean? Trying to open up the minds of the people to the stars instead of the Most High. You know what I mean? So he said, don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Let the heavens do what they do. You don't know what's going on in the heavens. Stop trying to read the stars. Stop trying to read the blood moons. Right. The scripture says it's going to be there. Fine, it's there. Right? The blood moon was going to be there. It's a day to be noted that we're in the last times. The blood moons have shown, right? Okay, what do you keep doing? Keep moving. Not studying the stars and trying to figure out. The Most High already told you what's happening. Right? Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right.
For the customs of the people are vague.
Right. See, the custom, you see how these points? See, but you know how people read? They just read straight through it. Right. They don't understand. These are points, man, that solidify why we're stupid as hell. Because you constantly keep following the customs of the heathen. Right. You constantly follow their ways. Right? It says they're vain. Like, they come up with, like, Easter egg hunting. Easter egg bunnies do not lay eggs. You know what I mean? Isn't that vain? No, it's not. Not for the stupid people. It's fun. It's to them, it's a purpose. Right. To them, it's like, today I can get together with my children and teach them something, right? But you're doing it off of pretense of lies. Right. Would you do that for drug dealing day? Right. You know what I know? You're like, well, that's crazy. It's just drug dealing and hunting. It's not. It's all wickedness. It's all evil. You know what I mean? The thing is that hunting for eggs is just more deceptive way of teaching lies and foolishness. Right. You know, as opposed to when you think of drugs, you're thinking of like, it's straight out evil, right? Yeah, but all these subtle ways that we're teaching our children, our family, that's how Esau deals. That's how America deals. That's why he said they're vain. Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vague. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
So read it from the top. Read it again.
Verse 4?
Yeah.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
No. One doeth what? Verse 3.
Slack it. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
So this is the custom of the Christmas tree, sis. Okay? And in the ancient days, back during the Babylonian times, they would actually go cut the tree out of the forest. You know, if you're rich enough, you know, you like Beyonce, like rappers, you know, and movie stars, they got these big ass Christmas trees in their house. You know, they ain't gonna get you a plastic Kmart, Walmart tree. They're gonna go get the tree and follow the custom to the T. And that's what we did. Go ahead.
One cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Uh-huh.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
Right.
With the axe.
And when you deal with idolatry, when you deal with the custom of the heathen, you have to go do it. You have to make this a god. You have to make Christmas a god. And that's what they do. They make that belief more real to you than the actual facts. You're supposed to be doing it for Christ, but don't have nothing to do with Christ. You don't look in the Bible and say, wait a minute, this is not here. You know, it's built off of faith, of falseness.
That's why I said you break my commandments.
Right.
With your traditions.
With your traditions, exactly.
Other gods.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Yeah, where did this come from? Like even the tree alone is stupid as hell. It ain't got nothing to do with Christ. But decking it with silver and gold, where did that come from? Well, we're going to find out. This was a custom that if you don't bring the gold and the silver to the tree, it's going to hunt you. It's going to get you. And that's how today is. The mind of America, if you don't celebrate Christmas, it's taboo. It's like, you know, oh yeah, we don't celebrate that. Oh, but it's for the kids. We know it's not that, but it's for the kids. See, it's taboo. Back in the ancient days, it was taboo. You were to bring gold, real Jews, real gifts to the worshiping of this tree. Go ahead.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Go ahead.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
Right.
That it moves not.
Right, and that's important. Once again, you read over this and you're like, well, they move not. What does that mean? Well, the whole idolatry thing was that these trees would get you. They would hunt you. They would kind of spiritually come at you if you would serve them. You would worship them. And that's where this madness is coming at. You know, you get hurt when you know, a lot of people get hurt coming from Christmas. You know, I haven't celebrated Christmas. You know what I mean? You know,
Missing out.
Yeah, I'm missing out. You know, the Most High don't want you to deal with those things. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Right.
But speak not.
Why? Why is he pointing out that they speak not? Because dealing with idolatry, it was that these trees would come, they're a power, they're an entity, they can come to life. But that's not true. Go ahead.
They must needs be born.
You have to carry them. You have to carry out the service of going to cutting them down, bringing them forward, decorating them. You have to carry that out. It's not going to haunt you. Go ahead.
Because they cannot go.
Read.
Be not afraid of them.
Do what?
Be not afraid of them.
If you don't celebrate Christmas, what?
Be not afraid of them.
Go ahead.
For they cannot do evil.
Right.
Neither also is it in them to do good.
So you see that, right? So they can't do evil. They can't hurt you and harm you if you don't worship them. And they're not doing any good for you. Go ahead.
Verse 6. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord.
Right, because there's none like the Most High. So yeah, this is what Jeremiah's going into, dealing with the Babylonian custom of worshiping this tree. It ain't got nothing to do with Christ. You see that? Okay, and this is from that book called The Two Babylons, excuse me. And it's by Alexander Hislop, in case you want to go get the book. And now, just to let you know, this custom of the tree metamorph from one thing to the next. It metamorphed from the Babylonian custom to a Greek, to the Roman custom, to
to all these different customs, but just different names. Now, I think the one I put up here, let's read it. Let's read it. It goes in, I mean, I'm not going to read the whole thing. This goes all the way into it. It goes into it real good, too. All right, so it says here, in Rome, be indeed the Babylonian of the Apocalypse and the Madonna enshrined in her sanctuaries, be the very queen of heaven. It says, for the worshiping of whom the fierce anger of the Most High was provoked against the Jews in the days of Jeremiah. So they know this too. Okay, this white man knew, and these historians knew, that this is the same custom that was in Jeremiah. It said, it is of the last consequence that the fact should be established beyond all possibility of doubt. For that being once established, everyone who trembles at the word of the Most High must shudder in the very thought of giving such a system, either individually or nationally, the least continuance of support. It says something has been said already that goes far to prove the identity of the Roman and Babylonian system, but in every step, the evidence becomes still more overwhelming. That which arises from comparing the different festivals is peculiarly so. The festivals of Rome are innumerable, but 5 of the most important may be singled out of includation. It says, let me read that again. But 5 of the most important may be singled out for includation. It says Christmas Day, Lady of Day, Easter, Nativity of St. John, the Festival of Assumption. Each of all these can be proved to be Babylonian, and first as to be the festival of honor of the birth of Christ, or Christmas. He comes in that the festival, how comes is that festival was connected with the 25th of December. There is not a word in the scriptures about the precise date of his birth. And that's true. There's no day. It doesn't tell you. It tells you that Christ, he went up to the Passover around when he was 12 years old. So that means that around when he was 12, the Passover was going. That's late March, early April. That ain't got nothing to do with December. It says, at the time the angel announced his birth of the shepherds of Bethlehem, they were feeding the flocks of the night in the open fields. Now, no doubt the climate of Palestine is not severe as the climate of this country, but even there, through the heat of the day is considerable. The cold of the night from December to February is very piercing. And it was not custom. Listen, he's giving you more keys, which is valid points. It was not the custom of the shepherds of Judea to watch their flocks in the open fields later than the end of October. So he's showing you it couldn't have been during December. Because the shepherds, when it says the shepherds were keeping eye on the flock, that didn't happen in the cold of the winter. So he's showing another point that why this has nothing to do with Christ's birth. It is the last decree incredibly then that the birth of Christ could have taken place in December. There is great unanimity among commentators on this point. Besides Barnes, it tells you the books, everything. All right, it says in the Jewish antiquities, who are all of opinion that December 25th could not be the right time of our Lord's nativity, the celebrated Joseph Medea pronounced in a very decisive opinion to the same effect. Now, let's talk about that. I'm trying to get to where it comes from. Okay, here we go. It says, how then did the Romanist Church fix December 25th? It says, as Christmas Day. Question. It says, why thus, long before the 4th century, and long before the Christian era itself, a festival was celebrated among the heathen at the precise time of the year in honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian queen of heaven. And it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen, it says to swell the number of normal adherents of Christianity, the same festival was adopted by the Roman Church, giving it the same name of Christ. This tendency on the part of the Christians to meet paganism halfway was very, very easily developed. See, so this is what you have here. They wanted to get some of these heathens to transcend over to Christianity.
Right.
So the Roman Catholic Church, the Romans, they adopted and made their heathenistic customs and put Christ on it.
Right.
Y'all see that? Now, this is the white man telling you this. This is outside of, we know the facts of the scriptures. This is more evidence biblically. Okay? So you can go on, sis, you can get this book and you can go on and read. But it goes into the U-Day, the U-Law. It goes into how that goes back to Egypt. It goes back into the winter solstice. It goes into all these things. Okay? So I wanted to give that to you, just evidence. You said you needed those facts. That's Christmas. Even in here, sis, it goes into Easter. I don't know where the Easter one is. But it goes into Easter. It goes into Easter on here. But now, for you, dealing with the Easter, just to show you how, because Easter is worded one time in the Bible. Okay? So go there. Go to your Zondervan, and I want you to look up Easter. And I'm just looking at if I can find it in here, just to add to the common sense of the scriptures. Because Easter is easy, because it tells you what the bad translation Easter was in the Zondervan. But I'm going to go to here. Let's see if I can find it in here. You got it? Oh, we're reading from the Two Babylons. It's called the Two Babylons. It's by Alexander Hislop. Okay? And it goes into all these customs, man. I was trying to look for the Easter one. I had to go online because I didn't bring mine. So, but it is online. If y'all go online and search for the Two Babylons, it is on there. Okay, so y'all got about Easter? Go to Acts 12 and 4, and then we're going to read about out of the Zondervan. I mean, out of the Zondervan.
Acts chapter 12, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions,
right,
of soldiers to keep him, intended after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Right. So you figure, Easter's in the Bible. Now let's go to the Zondervan, because we're going to find out that is just a bad translation.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead and read that.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Uh-huh.
All right, Easter. In quotation, it says Passover. Rendering Easter in Acts 12 and 4, King James Version, but correctly translated Passover in, what is that, AV? Is that translation?
Yeah. So, you see that? Correctly translated Passover. You see how they put that there? Now, we know the Passover got nothing to do with bunnies laying eggs. You see that? So, you see how it's simple, man.
That's why you gotta have your books. Listen, you gotta have your Sabbath, because when you get people out of there in the street, oh, what's wrong with Easter? Let me show you. Easter didn't have nothing to do with the Bible. It was about the Passover. I'm gonna try to go back here. What you got?
Colossians 2 and 8 is about the rudiments of the world.
Yeah. Go ahead and read that.
This is Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8.
I got it right here too.
All right, Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Right. You're right. Real quick, off point. You got your truck?
By the house.
Okay.
You need it?
We're gonna need it to load the stuff up.
Okay, yeah, that's probably I come up.
Okay. When we finish. Go ahead. Read it one more time.
This is Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Right.
After the tradition of men.
Right.
After the rudiments of the world.
Right.
And not after Christ.
Right. There you go. So this is what we gotta beware of. You understand? This is what we were doing. We were doing and following the rudiments of the world. We were following the wickedness of the world. You understand that? Yeah, go ahead.
So important. And this is going to be 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 6. And this is Paul speaking and letting us know what we should do when people actually entertain these traditions. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 6. All right, you ready? All right, 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 6. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of the Lord Yahushua, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the traditions which he received of us.
Right.
Verse 7, for yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we behave not ourselves disorderly among you.
Right. That disorderly, that is showing you, are we following do we supposed to be following the customs of the heathen?
Right.
Or do we supposed to be coming back to the law, statute, commandments of the Most High, like the young brother was talking about? We supposed to be coming back to the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the first fruits. These days really meant something. They weren't just make-believe or customs that were of the heathen. Okay? Yeah, you know what we need to do. I just realized we need to print these out. That way when we go over this about Easter, Christmas, like you see, yeah, we can screenshot it and print it out. And then that way when people come, we can have it and we can just show them if they don't have the book.
Right.
But this is once again out of the two Babylons. It's by Alexander Hislop. This is on page chapter 3, section 2, and it says Easter. Look at Easter. What means the term star itself? It is not a Christian name. It bears a Chaldean origin. Ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. Ain't got nothing to do with Christ. On its very forehead, Easter is nothing else than Astarte. It said one of the titles of Belteshazzar, the Queen of Heaven, whose name, as pronounced by the people of Nineveh, it says was evidently identical with what that now is common use in this country. It says the name, it says as found by Leonard on the Syrian monuments is Astarte. The worship of Baal and Astarte was very early introduced into Britain. Also with the Druids, the priests of the groves. So you can read down in this, but it's showing you. Listen, once again, you're following a heathenistic custom.
Right.
You're following a cut. That's why I said the custom of the people are vain. Has nothing to do with the Most High. Has nothing to do with Christ. And if you got a smartphone, sis, you can pull this up. What I did was I Google searched Easter in the two Babylons, and it popped up the first one.
That way, when somebody hits you, when you're talking to somebody, you don't got the book, you go right to your phone and be like, listen, let me show you. You can show them in the scriptures, then you show them that. You know what I mean? Because I know she's asking maybe because they want to teach their family, and she's new, come learning too. You want to hit your family with it right there. Bam, you hit them with the facts in their face. Yeah, there you go.
This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Yeah, Con, so you definitely, you can let your family members know that this is the reason why you're not partaking in these customs. Why? Because number one, the Bible didn't say it, but you don't want to receive the plagues. Why? Because you're disobeying. That goes back to Matthew chapter 15 and verse 3, how it says that you break my commandments by your traditions. Because at the end of the day, when you break the Most High's traditions, you will catch some plagues. You will catch that judgment from the Most High. You don't want that to happen to you nor your family. So just let them know you're looking out for them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's on point. That's on point. That's why this is what we're trying to do. As we get better, that was Revelation 18 and 4. That was Revelation 18 and 4. Go ahead. The traditions.
That was Matthew chapter 15 and verse 3.
Oh, you went over 2 right now?
That was
earlier?
a little while ago.
The traditions of men. It wasn't Colossians.
No, that one, but I was talking about how we were talking about
You got the one in Colossians, right? Okay. Oh, okay. So you gave him those. You gave him both. Okay. Yeah. What's the question?
The question says, what chapters teaches you how to do the Passover?
Oh, we'll get that for you real quick. All right. Right. But you get that, sis. Right? You got that? So you got Easter. Now you got, Easter's simple, because it's not in the scriptures, right? And then you can go to those other scriptures to show them that we don't supposed to celebrate these holidays. You know what I mean? That Easter really meant the Passover, okay? So, but Passover, you could go to Leviticus or Deuteronomy. Let me get it for you. You can go to Exodus 12.
26.
Huh?
12 and 26, 27, 28.
Yeah, read the whole chapter. Exodus 12 or Deuteronomy 16. 16 and 1 on down. So that's what you can do. You can go to those 2 chapters and read about the Passover, which is coming up, by the way. We're gonna be celebrating it on the 24th of April. And we're going to be doing it here in H-Town. We got a location, and once again, somebody asked it, how much does it cost to come? It doesn't cost anything to come to the Passover. The Passover is free. Now, if you want sisters to work on garments, that's what they're charging to get the stuff and do your garment. Otherwise, Passover is free. All right. So now, if y'all want to help out with the Passover, you can do that too, because we do need help with that. What? Exodus 12 chapter, and Deuteronomy 16.
Exodus 13 as well too. 13.
Exodus 12 and 13 and Deuteronomy 16. She can read those chapters, or he can. I'm not sure. Right.
And Deuteronomy what?
16.
16. 16.
All right. So, did that answer your question though?
How would you explain that to a 4-year-old? Why we don't do it?
You're the mom. Therefore,
You let them know we don't do that no more. You know, at that age, you know, they're still impressionable, and they still obey. Is obeying what you're saying. So you gotta just right there. You gotta just tell them we don't do that no more because I want to follow the right things now in Christ. You know what I mean? And also outside of that, you got to keep talking to them about the Most High Christ, because that's what's going to put in their mind, I'm pleasing the Most High Christ rather than themselves. So, you know, what? The parenting one. Yeah, we got a class online, the parenting one. But just to touch on it a little bit, go to what is it? Proverbs. Yeah. Go to Proverbs 22:6.
This is Proverbs chapter 20.
Proverbs 22:6, and then we'll touch on. Yeah, read that one.
This is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
Train
up a child in the way he should go.
Right.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Yeah. So that's what we're supposed to be doing, sis. You're supposed to be training them up as a youth. You know, training them up as a child. So 4 years old, that's easy. They still love, you know, you talking about your daughter?
Yeah, because like she go to daycare and then she come home and she's like, oh, happy birthday. Oh, Mary, I'm like, Judy, we don't do that. And she's like, oh, happy birthday.
Right. You gotta, that's why come around more, start bringing her around the other kids. Come to the Sunday class. You know what I mean? But yeah, you gotta start everything, you gotta start sitting down with her and deprogramming her. You know what I mean? That's what it's a lot of talk, it's a lot of work, but you got to start deprogramming her. You know, and training her right. 2 Timothy 3 verse 15. 2 Timothy 3 verse 15.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures.
Wait till she get it. 2 Timothy 3 verse 15. Wait, anything else on there? Go ahead.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith,
right,
which is in Yahweh Shai.
So you need to train them up as a child, from a child, those Holy Scriptures. You need to be in that book and communicating and letting her know. We don't do that. You know what I mean? But it's going to be you pulling her away from a lot of it, keeping her away from around it. Starting to bring her on Sundays when the sisters deal with the kids. Start bringing her around that. That's what's going to get her out of it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That goes back to when we say we got street speak about how we'll bind in our house.
Yeah, exactly. Deuteronomy 64. Bind them upon the posts of our house. Was it allergies or you still? Oh, okay.
I gotta go through this like 5 minutes.
Not if you cut out dairy. If you cut out dairy, like my son, he had to cut out all the dairy, the white bread, white rice, no nothing Christina Aguilera. No Britney Spears. You got to cut out everything white out of your life. You got to become a racist when it comes to all that, because all the white rice, white bread,
all that stuff, it has bleach.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what gets you. And then the milk is the mucus. The cow milk and all the stuff they pump in that. Try almond milk. It's good. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cut out the white rice. Anything white. Start eating everything black. You know what I mean? It's like the earth. Where we at? Okay. All right. All right, brother.
This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 13.
You gotta wait till she get it though.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah 54:13. Yes, sir.
So this is just edifying on teaching your children the way of the Lord. Come on, this is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 13. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. Verse 14. And righteousness shall thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, and thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what a lot of parents right now in this world is dealing with. Oppression, fear. The kids is getting killed in the street. Why? Because they're not abiding by the law and to raise their children up in the way of the Most High. And that's why they're out there in the streets, scared and running
rampant. Yeah. Where you at?
That was Isaiah chapter 54, verse 13.
Right. And what's the second one I gave you? 2 Timothy's, right?
Yeah, that was 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 15.
Now,
Isaiah 54 and verse 13.
Okay. All right. You got another one?
Yeah, that was the one you want to quote. Deuteronomy 6,
Yeah.
7.
Read that.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 6. And this is what we have to do daily. Again, this is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 6. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart. Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign unto thy hand, and thou shalt be a frontless between thy eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the post of thy house, and on thy gate. And it shall be when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which swore unto thy fathers.
Right. It's just showing you, and this is one scripture, the first thing we open on with as we go street speak, is that they have to be frontlets. Those blinders, man. Those blinders that keep you on the path. And you got to talk with them when you're in your house.
Right.
You know, what we do is, we try to get Bible themes, scriptures. Don't throw them on that Dora. Don't put them on Dora stuff and the pink dinosaur guy. What's his name? Barney. You know what I mean? You gotta keep the Bible around them. When they go to sleep, put the audio Bible on. When they up in the morning, put the Bible stories on. You know what I mean? Especially at this age, when you talk about from 1 to about 7 and 8, you know what I mean? They're really influenced, you know? So you got to keep those things around them, you know? And then as they get older, you're talking to them and weeding out what they're learning in school.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard.
That was actually a question that one of the sisters in Dallas had. She's an art teacher.
Right.
But she was wondering how could she balance about, with the kids asking about, she doesn't have to actually do the crafts and stuff like that for Easter, Christmas, but how does she react about telling them, that she doesn't feel that's not right? But obviously you're in a school situation.
She's in a school situation. The best thing would be to avoid all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what she has to do.
Right.
Because that's what her job, her job is. She can't go in there and just tell everybody that their parents and everybody gonna come up against her and cast her out like a heathen.
Right. Ooh.
So, you got that right, sis? Is that helpful? Right, and then we want you to check out this parenting class also. So, what channel was that on? Was that on here?
I want to say
Or
that
the
was,
cable?
I want to say that was on this show.
On this channel?
Yes, kind of.
Okay. So we need to You said what? Okay. All right. We'll find it for you, sis. But it goes over to all those a little more scriptures on there, a little more in depth as far as the parenting also. Okay. Brandon, right? Is it? Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. You had any questions?
Yeah, man, well, yeah.
There's so much, I know.
Because I know. First of all, I just want to let everybody know that, I've been like 6-7 months in this, I'm baby stepping in this, like just coming out the womb of it now. I was me looking at it, like when it was the Israelite people was preaching the word. I guess when God sent them out to preach,
right?
And like this, and I guess when these people got that knowledge or whatever, I'm talking about the other nations. And I'm thinking about Titus when he came in. Was that because they knew they wasn't going to heaven, or God was to destroy them? That's why they wanted to cut us off as a nation.
Okay, I'm not sure if I understand your question.
Because that's what I'm saying, I might be a little bit off. What I'm trying to say is, when we was preaching that knowledge, what they say, Jacob I love,
Esau have I hated?
Esau I hated, and all like this.
Right.
I guess when they was getting all these things, like, well, because what I've been learning is like when they, I guess they felt like they've been hated upon, like God is not going to take them.
Who?
The other nations, like I say my people, I say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if because somebody had just like why God not gonna save us? And I'm going back to that Titus days. I was wondering why what they what they had. I can't think of the verses when the whole nation conspired against us to cut us off. Yeah, so it's.
Oh, you're talking about Psalms?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what your question is. Is your question about
the religion? This is what I want to say is where religion came from. Like religion, you know what I'm saying? Because if this is our heritage for us, right? And I'm going out there preaching this to other people, you know what I'm saying? Other people, but then they see that, well, okay, God's not gonna save me. I'm talking about when he comes back.
You talking about the nations?
Yeah.
Well,
when they all sit at the table, like when they say they all sit at the table, to cut us off.
Right.
By the time I think what's that?
Psalm 83. That's Psalms. You're talking about
Psalm with Titus, right?
No, that's Psalms.
No, that's Psalms. Okay, let's see. That's why I'm confusing myself.
You're talking about Psalms 83, where they conspired against us.
Yeah.
I'm
just trying to think of where religion, where like religion where it came in, because like you got Catholic Church, Baptist churches, all these different churches.
Right.
But it's just our heritage, like this, and they knew it was our heritage.
Right.
That's why they wanted to cut us off. Well, I mean, it's just.
Yeah. Exactly. Go back to Psalms. You there? Psalms what? 83.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're saying religion came up to confuse us.
Yeah, because right now in the church they teach us it's love, but they knew that God did hate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, and that He is gonna come and destroy them.
Right.
And
see,
so that's why they want to start their own religion.
Well, the thing is this, that the way the Bible is written, it's written in a way for it to be preserved. So when Christ said go, see, it's deeper than that. Christ said go teach all nations. The people are thinking, now this word is for everybody, right? But see, he had to do it like that. All nations had to know the word, but they had to feel like as though there was a reason to keep this Bible instead of burning them up. Think about it. If they would realize that they were the cursed people, right?
Yeah.
What would they have done? They would have destroyed this Bible. Just like during slavery, they didn't want the black man to read the Bible. That's what a lot of people don't get wrong. They're talking about the white man wrote the Bible. The black man was ordained, whooped, almost probably killed for reading.
Right.
And then on top of that, reading the Bible was forbidden.
Right.
Until they started their little Christianity and were going to teach you the Bible the way they did.
That's why.
Yeah.
The cool part about it, Psalm 1 brought it out in the Maccabees, when all the sons and the woman, when their sons were getting killed, but the thing about it is that they were holding on to the laws and statutes of the Most High. And it's almost like they killed all the ones that was hard, that was about the word, and they left the weak ones. And that's why they were able to obviously manipulate us, and for us to think how they wanted us to think.
Right. Yeah. That very good point. You know, during the time of the Maccabees, it kind of resembles what was going on in slavery. I'm going to kill all the strong, and I'm going to break the man, and that way the children learn to listen to me, to follow me, and follow my custom, my religion. So, you know, it goes back to slavery, but even further back in our history to break the righteous from following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So, yeah, bro, that's exactly what happened. But when we read Psalms 83, which you were quoting, is why they went about to go do this.
Yeah, because I was wondering, because my mom, you know, she said, well, then why we got all this, well, if this is our heritage, where all the religion and all this.
Right.
I'm saying, well, maybe that's why.
Religion was man-made. That's the whole.
That's why I guess they conspired. And I said, I had to ask them that. I just, because I told them, I'm just doing this, you know. I'm trying to wake up.
Right.
And I mean, I was just trying to look at the overall picture. I'm like, is this why? Because religion is why we got wars going on now.
Right. Right.
You know, everybody killing each other and all this.
Well, the reason, first of all, you have to explain it to her like this: religion is man-made. That's the first way you got to come to her. That way, remember, you got to give her basics. Sure, that religion is man-made, ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. You know what I mean? Because when you go into all this other deep stuff you're talking about, that might confuse her. So you just show her, listen, religion is man-made. Man came up with this. God gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. And they're not following it. See, you see how more basic basic it is? Keep it like that. That way, you give her a little here, and then you come back and get a little more. As you're learning, you'll be able to go through the scriptures and show her. That's what you want to do. But yeah, the nations definitely conspired against us. You know,
for that reason, that's what I'm saying. For that reason, because of that, because we was gone out that preacher saying that, like some that was gonna be saved.
No, it was beyond that.
It's beyond. It was just an overall thing.
It's an overall thing. They came up. It's that and mixed with everything. Yeah. You had a question in Titus?
Yeah.
She was pulling from Titus?
Well, she was stuck because she was reading something about Titus when he came from Lord King and all that, and then where we went, and from there and all like that. And then
Titus, you talk about Titus, the Greek Vespasian in the son Titus, or you talking about Bible Titus?
Bible Titus.
Okay, what about him?
I think it's the Bible Titus. Is that the was he a king that came to try to came to the northern kingdom, right? Did he come through the northern kingdom? I'm talking about when they was getting ready to push us out of our land or whatever it was.
You're talking about not the Bible Titus. Okay, yeah, not the Bible Titus. You're talking about the Roman Titus.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. You can't get them mixed up. Because Titus of the Scripture is totally different than the Titus of. You're talking about when they came in and they overthrew Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was trying to find out, like, well, then where they went. You know what I'm saying? Like, why all that started? Like, was it because our but she kept saying religion, but I said our heritage.
No, you got to go back and show her that started because the Most High gave us commandments and we disobeyed them. Yeah, you keep her in the right lane and on the topic. That way, it won't confuse her. Because if you throwing stuff at her, it might confuse her. You got to show her. Titus came in and the Romans came in because Deuteronomy 28. We disobeyed the commandments of the Most High. Yes, they conspired according to Psalms 83. But when you go to Deuteronomy 28, verse, what verse we gonna go to? Nah, when you go to Deuteronomy
48.
yeah, verse 48. Deuteronomy 28:48 on down. Yeah. That when you go there, you find out that because we didn't serve the Most High. You can read that.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. I'll wait for you. Everybody has Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, in nakedness and in want of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So yeah, the reason why Titus was sent in, the reason why the Greeks, the Romans were sent in, was because we disobeyed the commandments of the Most High. You know, but now, on top of that, they went too far. See, the nations, the Greeks, the Romans, all the nations went they went so far to say, okay, we know if we can cut them off from being a nation, that the Most High be against them.
Right.
You understand? We know that if we cut them off from following the law, statutes, commandments, the Most High would be against them. You understand that? There's when you go to Judith, let me show you something. When you go to your Apocrypha, and you go to Judith, and now you can read it, Judith 5, the 3rd chapter, Judith the 5th chapter, from 3rd verse all the way down. But we're gonna jump. I'm just gonna give you the Reader Digest version. What's happening here? So you got Holofernes, right? He was the chief captain of the army of Ashur, and the children of Israel had prepared for war. Okay, so they were gonna go to war with Holofernes. Okay, but you find out that they weren't submitting to him. Okay, they weren't submitting to what he was doing. So that's why they were going to war. They weren't going to bow to him. Okay, he was the captain. I think it was. Let's see. I think it was the 1st verse of Judith. In the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh, the great city, the day of Arphaxad, and the reign over the Medes. Okay, so you got Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh. It says, in the days of Arphaxad, who reigned over the Medes. Okay? So you got the Medes during this time. Oh, stop. So this is what's going on. So the captain of the army was Holofernes. Okay? And then when you jump to verse 2, I'm going to read down from 5 verse 1 on down. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war, and had shut up the passages of the hills of the country, and had forfeited, it says, all the tops of the hills, and laid impediments in the campaign, campaigned countries. It says, wherewith he was very angry and called all the princes of Moab and the captains of Ammon and the governors of the sea. And he said, check this out, and he said unto them, tell me, ye sons of Canaan, Chanaan, who this people is that dwelt in the hill country, and what are the cities that they are inhabited, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is the power and strength, and what king is set over them, or what captain of the army. So he wanted to know, who the hell are these people that are not obeying me or bowing down to me, right? Well, when you read on down, he starts to tell him, verse 5, then said Achor, the captain of the sons of the Ammon, let the Lord hear me a word from my mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people. He tells them their history. He tells them what they've been through from the beginning, because the heathens know our history. He tells them, when you read that, they know our history. But the point I'm going to bring to the 21st verse, he points this out to them. He said, but if there be no iniquity, it says, verse 18, verse 17. It says, and whistle, they sin not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them. So one thing that these nations know, that when the Israelites did right, we prospered. The Most High blessed us. So it was in their power, according to Psalms 83, to get us out from serving the Most High. So yeah, you got a point. It was these religions and things that came about, was due to them conspiring. But it was just more than that. It was a lot of things they conspired against us. You see that? So, but you're right. But, I'm just substantiating that you're correct according to Judith and then Psalms. Yeah.
That's why I would go to the 3:16, John 3:16.
Right.
Love, that was preach this love thing.
Right.
All this stuff. So,
Well, why is it written like that? Why is it put in like that? Why is it written there like that? Like, even you look at how the Most High put the scriptures together. Like, when you look at world or age in the Greek, or world in the Greek, it can mean age. It can mean age or time period, right? So when it's translated in English, it's translated to world. You see what I'm saying? So the lack of understanding, they don't know the scriptures. You see that? Or when you look up the word world, in the definition, it says the sea world, the fish world, this world, that world, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm showing you is this: why was the Bible written in a way to where they think they had some hope? Because they do. Listen, let's be right. There's nations that are going to make it. There's nations that are going to make it. They just have a different plan for them. They're going to make it, but they got a plan. The plan is slavery, captivity, because that's what the Most High promised. So they're going to make it, and yes, they have to bow and submit to the Most High. But the plan was bigger than that. It was making and having this Bible survive through the ages. That when these so-called Christians read it, they don't just burn all the dang books up and destroy them. That's how we received it, coming back to the Most High, knowing that we're the children of Israel. So it was multiple themes going on. Why the Bible survived, why these religions were created. It was because they're conspiring, but because also the Most High has the wise in their own craftiness. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot, man. But you can read out in Judith, and here it shows you that they knew that the only way to gain their power was to get us to go against the Creator, to get us to go against the Most High. You see that? Okay.
Psalms chapter 2, verse 2.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. can read that one too. Read that
Psalms chapter 2, verse 2.
one. Uh-huh.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers that take counsel together against the Lord
Uh-huh.
and against his anointed,
Right.
saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Right. And that's what they did, and that's what their purpose was. That to how are we gonna come from up under the slavery, the captivity of Israel? Well, we gotta keep them in derision. We gotta keep them occupied with foolishness and wickedness and drugs and money and females and cars. This is how they keep the chosen from searching the Most High. Well, what does the Most High say? Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
Why? Because it's not going to work. Because the Most High tells you in Isaiah and tells you in Romans, I have reserved to myself 7,000 men that have not bowed to the knee of Baal. Meaning I've chosen a certain people. Yes, all Israel isn't going to turn, but the chosen are going to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, of righteousness. Go ahead.
The Lord shall have them in derision.
Right, go ahead.
Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure.
Right, so you see that? So, and that's what the Most High did, and that's what he's going to do. And in his wrath, he's going to destroy them. But he has them in derision. Why? Because the truth is still getting out.
Right.
They can't stop it. No matter what they're doing, it's still getting out that you're the chosen, that you're the people of God, and that the whole earth wait on you. See, this is what they didn't want to get out. Because when we get into righteousness, in Judah 5 verse 21, it says, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. They knew that.
Right.
They knew when the Most High's on their side, oh, they butts is grass. It's over for them. They had nothing. They couldn't do nothing against us. So what was the job? Now read back. Read back to Psalms 83. This was their job.
Psalm chapter 83.
Uh-huh.
In verse
Verse 3.
Psalm chapter 83 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So what did they do? They said, listen, we got to take crafty counsel against thy people. That's what they said. And this is how they keep us in derision, through their crafty counsel. Now, the thing is that it's been established. It's been established so deep, it's rooted in America. The hate, the confusion and chaos that they want to keep the black man and Hispanic man in, that a lot of these idiots don't even really know. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right, they consulted. We're the hidden ones. You know, what's your dad? Black man?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know you was a tribe of Judah. You didn't know you was of the nation of Israel. You were hidden. But now you know you're the chosen. Now you know you're God's people. How though? The Most High had to make this survive. This Bible had to survive during this whole time. Or else they would have burned up these scrolls. So, but how did it survive? By making them think they're part of it. By sending them a strong delusion to make them say, oh yeah, we can be a part of this too. This letter wasn't for them. It's too late now. Got them. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Why? Because it tells you in Judah that if God is on their side, nobody can be against them. And that's what they want to stop. They want to prolong their time. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. So you see that, brother? Brian?
Yes.
Yeah. So, just those chapters, man, you can go through it and go over it. All right? All right. So, we have any other questions?
Did you answer about the Passover?
Yeah, we answered all those questions. Did we have it answered? That's it? Okay. So, all right. So if that's it with the questions, you good, sis? What's your name again, sis? Bria.
I did, have a question.
Go ahead, what's your question?
Dresses, I did research on it, because it kept saying dress, and I was like, why is it saying dress? So I researched dress thing, I do have to wear pants at work, but when I'm roaming about, like going to the grocery store, do I have to wear dresses?
You know, you want to dress like an Israelite woman.
So, wear dresses.
You want to dress. Listen, the scriptures say we're not that pertaining to a man. We know at work these demons make you do certain things, and you have to, stand for it. If it's gonna get you fired, the Most High don't want that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you got to try to keep your dresses on. You know what I mean? You got to try to dress like an Israelite woman.
It's a damn.
Huh?
Damn.
Well-
Adapt to what-
Well, no, that's at work. I'm talking about like you can dress like you want to dress outside of work. So show forth that you're an Israelite sister. Show forth that you're a princess of Israel. And remember that the woman that didn't wear that were pertaining to a man, especially these jeans, they got a zipper on front. Why? To pull something out of it. You know what I mean? You don't. Huh? Yeah. It's simple. That's why pants were made for. And that's why a woman's private part don't supposed to be covered up like that. That's why they get all the yeast infections and they get all that stuff because they're covered up. Yeah.
I also like from experience, it puts a spare on you, a different spare when you wear a long dress as to when you wear tight jeans and.
You know that too, right? When you throw on jeans, what spirit that put on you as a woman, as opposed to wearing a dress? Yeah, it put that spirit on you. Yeah, and that's what a lot of Israelite women don't know. It's like, take that off. It put that woman in that feminine spirit on you again. Right. So, yeah. All right, so, any other questions? I mean, did that answer you, sis? Go ahead. Bria, right? I got to remember that.
The changing of the name of Jew, I do that legally, or does the camp change your name?
Say that again?
Changing of your name, like, do I do that through the courthouse to change it to an Israelite name, or?
You can if you want to, but that's not necessary. Remember, Paul was able to use his citizenship for his benefit. So, he used wisdom. We keep our slave names. You need that. You know what I mean? To be low key in this society. But then we have our Hebrew names. We have our Hebrew names in our community. So you don't need to. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with doing it. If you want to change your name to your Hebrew name, you can do that too. But I'm just looking from Paul. He was able to use his Roman citizenship, and he was able to use his Hebrew. You know what I mean? He changed his name from Saul to Paul, right? Remember, it's Hebrew. We're saying it in English, but he changed his name from Saul to his Hebrew name. Okay, we gotta get that too. What's his name in Hebrew? Yeah, Saul, but Paul's name in Hebrew. So, yeah, you can keep your name, but as far as a Hebrew name, yeah, you definitely want to get a Hebrew name. Why do we do that? Because the theme of the scriptures, it's always telling us, put off the old man, put on the new, right? Colossians 3:9, Ephesians 4:24, John 3, verse 3. That was Colossians 3:9, Ephesians 4:24, John 3:3. Get the Hebrew. I want the ancient, and then they said, right. But I want you to see if we can get it up there online. You should be able to get it online. Well, Saul was a slave.
But in Hebrew,
But in Hebrew, right? So John 3:3 on down. Remember, unless you be born again, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. And yes, those are all spiritual, but we also take on that spiritual person and we put a name to it. You know what I mean? Put a name to her. All right. All right. You got that, sis? All right. Anything else?
The lady that had to watch her son die. What scripture is that?
Oh, in the Maccabees. Yeah. Let me get that for you real quick. in Maccabees. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, just put ancient Hebrew and then put Hebrew. And then that way when I go over the ancient, you can bring up the
Yes.
ancient.
So they call this one the modern Hebrew.
Yeah, that's the modern Hebrew.
And what you want this one too, right?
No, the one above.
You don't want this one?
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, the ancient. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Yes, Second Maccabees chapter 7. You can read the whole chapter. Second Maccabees chapter 7. That's in the Apocrypha.
Yeah, Second Maccabees 7 in the Apocrypha. You got an Apocrypha, right? Maccabees.
Maccabees. Maccabees.
Okay, you got that, sis? Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the Hebrew and just try to go over the basics of the Hebrew. Okay. Now,
How many people we got? It was 11 lessons.
okay. All right. So we're gonna go over the basics of the Hebrew. There was a sister that wanted to touch on the basics, and hopefully, if y'all stay with us on this Hebrew, we can keep moving forward. We're gonna go over the basics again. And then we want to move forward. So if y'all gonna tune in Sabbath class, we'll keep going over the Hebrew. We just don't want to keep going over the basics and keep going over the basics. So we're gonna go over the basic writing and in the both types of Hebrew real quick. And we're just gonna go over the how do you say them starting out. How do you say them and how does the symbol look? Okay? So everybody in class got one of these? You gave everybody one of those?
No, I haven't.
All right, Ma Willa, come over here. Grab those papers and give them to everybody in class. Is allergies are messing with him too?
No, the water cooler.
Yeah, he's just, give her some. No. Nobody's there, Mama. Nobody's sitting there. You can pick up. No. Pick. Give her one. Give the sister one. Come over here and bring us one. Okay. The water. All right. So we call it Lasha 1 Padash, which means tongue holy. Now everything from Hebrew is written from right to left. I'm pointing to the back, but well, actually, it's not on there. But everything in Hebrew is written from right to left. So let me see what you got up there for them, Shawashi. All right.
Are we doing the ancient or the
We're gonna start out with the ancient I first, and then the modern I. Okay. And for all y'all that are online, do you got this online?
No, I could find one.
It's online. Pull up Lasha 1 Kodash. See if you can get it like that.
The whole alphabet?
This paper should be up there.
We made this paper.
Check online. There's one up there. There's one online too. I know we made it, but somebody uploaded it online. If not, what we could do is we could just start out with the I. All right, you got it like that, right?
I have the whole thing, but I can maximize it too. It makes it bigger.
Yeah, we want to go one word by one symbol by one symbol. All right, and this is very important too because pronouncing, my God, pronouncing the Hebrew is very important. Correct? It's pronounced correctly. So it is written from right to left. Why? Because everything when you refer to the right hand, it says Christ is sitting on the right hand side of the throne. Right? It says that the righteous will sit on the right hand side. the sheep on the right, the goat on the left. So the right was always symbolic for righteous. Okay? All right, so that's why we write from right to left. And then everything that America has taught us is opposites.
Right.
Is opposites. They do left to right. Y'all got that? All right, so Lashawan Quadash. And you'll learn how to spell that as we go through the Hebrews, the Hebrew alphabet. So the first letter, the first symbol we're going to deal with is Ah. Ah. And that's spelled A-H. So everybody say it with me. Ah. Come on, open up those mouths, man. Ah.
Ah.
Ready? Ah.
Ah.
What's the first symbol?
Ah.
Ah. Which is, what next class, we'll go over what it means. Today, we're just going to go over how, write down Ah. And then you're going to write down what y'all should be doing in class, just so you can get the writing down. You should be writing down, I know you got the paper there, but you should write it down, how the Ah looks. Now, the ancient Ah, you want me yet?
Which one you want first, ancient or modern?
Let's do the ancient. Yeah.
One thing real quick. I remember when I was like really little this one in Jamaica, and like they were teaching us how to pronounce our letters. This is how they taught us to pronounce it. It was
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
When I came here, and I had a strong accent, they were telling me it's not I, it's A, and it's not the same body. It's just like
B.
Yeah, you just said.
So in
like that.
what in
Jamaica,
in Jamaica?
Like if I was going to school, like at her age, they were teaching you how to say your letters. You learn your letters. It's how you say it.
Okay, so as y'all see online, there you go. The first letter in Hebrew is the Ah. Say it, class. Ah. Ah.
Ah.
Okay, that's the first letter in Hebrew, or the first symbol in Hebrew. That's the ancient writing. And we'll go over what these symbols mean next class. And we got brothers and sisters that show the hell up. Ooh.
Are you gonna go from ancient Assyrian back?
Yeah, we're gonna go from ancient Assyrian. So you can throw the Assyrian up there also.
Together?
Yeah, you can throw the Assyrian up there also. Now the ancient was preserved because in the Assyrian Empire, we came up with the modern writing. Now, the way we pronounce and say the word, we pronounce these symbols, okay, is not like the so-called Jews. Yeah. So they say, and we say Ah, they say Aleph.
Right.
All right?
Like Greek, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like Greek, but remember the ancient, or remember the so-called Jews, their language is mixture of Hebrew, Yiddish, German, Spanish. Okay, it's a mixture of these different dialects in there. Okay, so that's where their concept comes from. We don't mess with that. We pronounce both. We see the symbols different, but we say them the same way. Okay, we say them the same way. So Ah.
Ah. Ah.
Say it again, class. Ah.
Ah.
Right, so that's the first symbol in Hebrew. You got the ancient, which is on the screen, and then you got, and for y'all in class, you got the modern, which is below it. And this writing is more calligraphy of writing. When you go to the Ah, like it, it's more calligraphy writing. Like if you were to do a Ah, it might not be that, it might not be like that.
You want me to do it?
You know, if you were to write the I, see my I? No, I'm not talking. They see it outline. I'm talking to them in class. You see my I? You see how this was more calligraphy, it's more perfect? Right. So you got to get used to how the I might look. You know what I mean? Because when you read it, give me the Hebrew, the brown book. So you got the modern I, and then you have the ancient I. Okay, y'all got that? Now, right here, I have this is the interlinear Bible. This is Hebrew, Greek, and English. Now, you want to learn Hebrew? You get one of these. You know why? Because you're going to be able to go through and get your words down, but also read the Bible in Hebrew and get more familiar with it. So, this is what this is. So, when you go in here, though, you know, they're using the calligraphy. Mawala, come over here. Give me that other brown one, too. Mawala, come over here. I want you to hand this around to them. So, y'all got that, right? Ah. Yeah. Hold the page open and hand that around to them. Okay? So, y'all can just get an idea of how it's written. So, the next, so we got and ba, down, right? So, y'all supposed to write it. Listen, don't sit here. I know you got the paper, but you're supposed to write it so you can get better at writing it. That's the point of class. All right? That's the point of class, writing it so you can get better. Okay? So, So let's go to the next one, which is ba. So say it, class. Ba. So, repeat after me. Ba. 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 And guess what? That's how you say father in Hebrew. Abba. Right? The first two letters. Abba. Abba is the way you say father, and Amma is the way you say mother. There's a lot of languages that still say it that way. Well, which one?
Huh?
Which one?
The what?
It says Abba and Amma.
Ethiopian.
Abba, right?
Abba,
yeah, say father. I heard some Chinese say it like that too, I think. You say Abba, Amma, okay? So, Ba, so you got the ancient, and then you got the Assyrian, or the modern, Ba.
I'm thinking about Japanese, they say Otasa, Mukasa, but it's still,
It's close.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Obasa and Otasa.
Oh, okay. And similar. Well, all languages come from Hebrew. Everything comes from Hebrew. All right? So the first two is repeat after me. Ba. 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 Okay. Like I said, we're just going to go over these. They get it. They got it right in front of them. Ba. Ba. Now, what's the next one? God. That's why I said you're not going to be able to do that. The next one is going to be God. God. Say it, class. God. Come on, open up your mouths. God. So let's say it all together. Ba. God.
God.
Ba. God. Ba. God. Now you got the Ba, and the Ga up there. The ancient and the Assyrian. This is going to be, for all you brothers and sisters that are training to be scholars, you want this. You want this. That way you can go into your interlinear, or this is supposed to be the oldest one. The oldest translation of the Bible. This is the Biblia Hebraica, Sagratius. Okay? All right, this is supposed to be one of the oldest Bibles, right? But it's able, as you read it in Hebrew, it tells you, Alahayim, Raya, nah? Where are we at? Wait a minute. All right. Oh, see, I'm in the wrong chapter. Yeah, I started Revelations. I gotta go to Genesis. See, it's written. See, this is how it starts. It starts from the back, from Genesis. Yeah, that's how it's written. Right. I'm gonna show you all this, but it tells you Bara'ash Yah Bara'a Alahayim. See, it don't say God, it says Alahayim. And that's why I was trying to show you about with the interlinear. It translated, it says gods or God, right? But this word Alahayim means powers or angels. But that's why I started doing it here, translating it myself to the Hebrew. I gotta get back on that. So let's say it again, class. Ba, God. Ba, God. All right, so you got the God down. Did you give him a God? Okay, so we got the God down. God. So the next one is Da. I'm moving fast. That's okay. They're gonna get it. Da. The next one is Da. And this is, you know what about the Da? What does the Da look like? It's what?
Pyramid. Triangle.
No, I like how you said it. A triangle. Is a triangle wicked?
No.
It can be because they use it for wickedness. Right, but no, it's showing you how simple-minded they are, bro. You can't take you can't make a square, because then a square be wicked. You know why? Because the Masons use a square.
Okay.
Right? That shows you how simple they are. It's not that the pyramid is wicked, it's not that the pyramid or the triangle is wicked. It's that they use it for wickedness. See? But we're going to find out all these symbols represent, all these word symbols have a meaning behind them. The we're going to find out represents the cattle, which is Allah. And we'll go over that. We'll go over that next class. Then we're going to find out the Ba represents a house, Bayah. Then the God represents what? Door. Okay, so we're going to go over that next time. I don't want to throw everything in one class. All right? So we have the we have the what? We have the what? I want to hear y'all. We have the what? Then we have the what? Then we have the what?
God.
Right. So Ba, God. This is how you're gonna get it. Repeating after me. Ba, God. Like your alphabets, man. Like you learned from the white man.
Right.
Just like you learned from the white man, now you're learning your alphabet, your history. And it's good to speak a little Hebrew, to know a little Hebrew. That way when you pray can pray in Hebrew. That way when you study and search words, you can know what you're looking for. That way if you need another language to talk into, to where somebody you don't want them to know, you'll have it. You know what I mean? You got brothers like John, how many languages you speak?
3.
English, Spanish,
Creole.
You speak Creole too?
Creole. Rook and French.
Okay. Right, now you add Hebrew to that, right? You know, and somebody was asking about Spanish classes too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so, we need that. Giving him the nudge. Right. Gotta give this guy the nudge, man. So, Ba, God. Now the next one is Da. No, I know. Where Da, and then we're on Da now, right? Ba, God, Da. Ba, God, Da. Ba, God, Da. Come on, y'all gotta repeat it. You gotta repeat it, y'all. So you can get it. You'll be able to say Abagada, Hawaza, Kataya, Kalamana, Sa'aipa, Tazakwa, Rashata. Oh, Shirai, you got it? Come on over here. Mawala, get over here, man. Here, no, let's stay right there. Huh?
Abagada Hawaza
Kataya.
Kataya
Come on, you gotta get it. Who got it? Quada, you got it? Come on, go ahead. Y'all had this. What happened? You ain't practicing. See, step back. Step back, True. All right, Shirai, you got it? Ah, yeah, you're being shy. Quiet. Come on, you got it. All right, you guys get that $10. Where's that $10? I know y'all being shy, but I'm trying to show them a kid can get it. Who wants that $10? Get over here. Don't be shy. Shirai, get over here now. Get over here. Fall forward, daughter of mine. All right. You don't remember it? All right, you guys got to remember it. But you'll be able to say it. Abagada Hawaza. Repeat after me, y'all. Abagada Hawaza. Hataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tazakwa Rashata. That's how we're going to get it. Abagada Hawaza. Hataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tazakwa Rashata. Abagada Hawaza. Hataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tazakwa Rashata. Again. Ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, za, kwa, ra, sha, tha. Okay, so we're on what?
Next ha.
We're on ha. So write down the ha. As you see, the ha in ancient and the modern. Ancient and the modern. Y'all got that? Ha. Ha. Say it, class. Ha. Ha. You like my name is Kazak. Yeah. See, they don't well, let me correct myself. I'll use it properly when the aha is at the end. Aha is not at the end of my name. All right. You got the feminine way to say it. Kazakwa. You add the ha in there. Kazakwaya. Right? All right. So we got the ha down. Y'all got that down? Huh? Y'all wrote it down? Khan? Brian? Yeah. You got it? Okay. All right. So let's say it again. Follow after me. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Hataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata. Tazakwa Rashata. Alright, you see? We gotta get it. So we got the ha down. Now the next one is the wa. The wa. This is how the wa looks. Wa. That's how it's pronounced. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Hataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Taza.
Za.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Ta.
Da.
Now we got the wa. You guys got the wa down? The
Come.
wa. The wa. You see how the wa looks? Like I said, next class we'll go over what they mean or their symbols a little more. But remember, everybody tries to come with that. Well, the Egyptians, they didn't have a, they wrote on the walls. They got that from Israel. We all did that. Everybody from Mesopotamia dealt like that in the ancient days. Okay, we kept the language of Adam, though. We kept the language of the past. Okay? We kept the language of the past. So you got the wa down, right? What's the next one?
Za.
What's the next one?
Za.
All right. Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Taza.
Taza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Ta.
Ta.
Alright. Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Taza.
Taza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Ta.
Ta.
Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Taza kwa ra sha ta. 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 Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Taza kwa ra sha ta.
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 Okay, so we learned za. The next one is ka. My name doesn't start with a ka. See, a lot of people don't know that. You pronounce it wrong, but we don't correct you because you don't know Hebrew. My name starts with a ka. Ka. Chazak. My name is pronounced Chaazaqya, not a K. It's Kazak. Yeah. But, we understand. All right? It's a ha. That one comes from like you're cracking up something. Ha. Like ha. All right? That's the ha. Say it, class. Ha. 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 Right. The ha is hard. A lot of people can't pronounce it. Like chawabwa. We say it in the Our Father prayer. Chawabwa. We don't pronounce that a lot. A lot of times you pronounce it as a ka when it's a ka.
How many languages use that? I know in Spanish and French they use it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what word?
German.
What word? Give us a idea.
Like in Spanish, it's like certain like people will say like in Puerto Rico, they use the R, like the R, like
Oh, they roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spit with it, yeah.
You can see that a lot. A lot of languages took Hebrew, and it went down all the way to English, man. This is a terrible language here. All right, so we got ha down, right? You got ha?
Ka.
Write the ha, man. Write it down. You guys got to get to know. You got to know this. That way, it'll be easy to be understood. Like your brothers that's got the test that's on the first, they should already have this down. That the test that'll be coming up on the the first of the month. That the first of the month test that's coming up is that they're gonna be taking on the first. Alright, so that's the what class? Ha. That's ha. So let's start from the beginning. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Come on and get with me on this.
Come on and get on, be with this.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Hataya.
Hataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata.
I'm teaching you the song. This is the easiest way to get with it. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Hataya.
Hataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa
Tazakwa Rashata.
Right, there you go. Alright, ta. So the next one is ta. 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 You might want to save those too if you can. For next class. Too late? You're gonna have to do it again. It's all good. It's all good. No, you got it right there. Alright, so ta. You guys got the ta?
Con.
Con?
Ta.
Con?
Con.
Con?
Con.
Con?
Con.
Alright, ta. There you go, Brian. I hear you now, baby. Alright, got the ta. Now, the next symbol to watch now. You ready?
2 seconds.
You gotta put that on mute. It's all good. Take it.
Yeah.
The next symbol is what?
Ya.
Ya. The next symbol is the ya. This is good because now they can go back over this. I want you to put in there the beginning in Hebrew. All right, on the YouTube. So that way they know as we're going over these Hebrew, they can get it down. Then we're going to come back and go over what these symbols mean. Okay? So you got the ya down. All right, one more time while she's getting up the other symbols. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Mawala Shariah. Quiet, I can't hear y'all. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Hataya.
Hataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tazakwa Rasha. Tazakwa Rashata. Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Abagada Hawa.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Remix. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Hataya.
Hataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata. Tazakwa Rashata. Kazakwa. Alright, y'all got it? Alright, we got the ya down. Let's get, we got the ka. Ka. He said moving.
No, it's do a workout. We are moving along.
Oh, I thought somebody was online telling us to stop. They're like, could y'all stop that? No, we're at the ka. Ka. Alright. And you know, once again, we teach the Hebrew. You want to get it down for reading. You want to get it down. You want to pray in Hebrew. It'll be good. But remember this: the Most High hear us in every language.
Right.
Okay. I know some people. You know, you got some camps that are like, you know, that are like, oh, you don't need to learn the Hebrew. Well, why not? You learn English. You learn these other languages. Why not learn your language? You say you're a Hebrew Israelite, but can't speak a lick of dang Hebrew. You can't even look up a word in Hebrew. You know what I mean? You don't want that.
Had to learn another language just to graduate high school.
Ain't that a trip? What do you mean another language?
You have to have British Spanish.
Oh, you gotta learn that to graduate high school. Some kind of foreign language.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Got some Japanese.
I didn't take that. Abagada hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Hataya.
Kataya.
Ka.
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 La.
La.
Ma.
Ma.
Na.
Na.
Sa.
Sa.
I.
I.
Pa.
Pa.
Za.
Za.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Da.
Da.
I forgot I got the cat. I was watching that video at the feast. The video when you sing it. Yeah, I got it. Remember at the feast we was doing the karaoke. I had that in my phone the other day and I was just watching that. I was like, man, this guy. We gotta put that on YouTube. Nah, that's that was good, man. It made me laugh though. So we got the ka down. The ka.
Ka.
All right. Well, I'm waiting till she get the la up there. So let's go. Abagada hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Hataya.
Hataya.
Ka.
Ka.
La.
La.
So that's where we're at. La.
La.
We're at the what?
La.
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 Ma.
Ma.
Na.
Na.
Sa.
Sa.
I.
I.
Pa.
Pa.
Taza.
Sa.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Da.
Da.
Abagada hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Hataya.
Kataya.
Kalamana sa ipa.
Kalamana sa ipa.
Taza.
Taza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Da.
Da.
If you repeat it, you're gonna get it. And by the end of class, you're gonna get the song in your head, right? and then it's gonna be easy for you to come in and just say Abagada hawaza, Kataya, Kalamana sa ipa, Zakwa Rashata. See? Then you'll just have it. Now, then all you have to do is get the symbols down with it. You'll have the alphabet down. Or what they call the alphabet. I'm trying to use different words so you won't equate it to English or the alphabet. So I'm trying to be clear on that. Remember, because these are symbols more than letters. You know what I mean? Okay. So we're on la. La.
La.
Okay, the next one is ma.
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 Ma. Ma.
Ma.
Ma.
Ma.
Abagada hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Hataya.
Kataya.
Kalamana sa ipa.
Kalamana sa ipa.
Kalama.
Kalama.
That's what we're on. Ma.
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 Abagada hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Hataya.
Kataya.
Kalama.
Kalama.
Nas.
Na.
Sa.
Sa.
I. Pa.
Pa.
Za.
Za.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Ta.
Ta.
Abagada hawaza.
Abagada hawaza.
Hataya.
Kataya.
Kalamana sa ipa.
Kalamana sa ipa.
Tazakwa rashata.
Zakwa rashata.
Tazakwa rashata.
Zakwa rashata.
Okay, Zion, go.
Abagada. Dang.
No, man, no! All right, go.
I got Abagada hawaza. Kataya.
No, damn. Go ahead. Just say hello.
Come here.
We're going to swing it around the block. Go.
Abagada hawaza. Kataya. Kalamana sa ipa. Zakwa rashata.
Ready? Go.
Abagada hawaza.
Look at it.
Come on. Come on. Try it again. Rewind it. Go. Rewind it.
All right, I'm ready.
Go.
Abagada hawaza. Kataya. Kalamana sa ipa. Zakwa rashata.
Come on.
Go. Next. Sean.
Me?
Come on. Next. My order.
You ready?
Abagada hawaza.
Come on.
Tazakwa Rashata class. Abagada Hawaza Kataya Kalamana Saipa Tazakwa Rashata. Abagada Hawaza Kataya Kalamana Saipa Tazakwa Rashata. What's the next one? Na. Okay, we are on na. Okay. All right. I know. Hey, listen. This is how you get it. This is how I got it. When I was in Sabbath class, I was 15, and I got it through the test. When I studied my test, I never lost it. And I don't sit down and study. You know, it's like the alphabet. Who sits down and studies the ABCs? Nobody. Right? Because you get it. So if you get it, once you get it, it's gonna stay with you. But you gotta practice. You gotta get it in your head. So the word we're on, or excuse me, the symbol we're on is na. What class? Na. Na. Right.
Nah.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Kataya.
Kalamana Saipa.
Kalamana Saipa.
Kalamana.
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 Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Kataya.
Kalamana Saipa.
Kalamana Saipa.
Taza.
Taza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Ta. There you go.
Okay.
Alright. See, I need that, man. I need life next to me, man.
Right.
Alright, so sa. We're on sa. Sa.
Sa.
Sa.
Sa.
But Kwadi, Mawala, Shariah, y'all had these.
Sa.
And y'all gonna be saying them. Alright, so you better be copying along.
What's the meaning of sa in the Hebrew?
Sa was a samak for support.
Support.
Yeah, we're gonna go over that next class too, but yeah, sa is samak for support. And we used to, you know, you see the ancient symbol, we used to hang our flags on the supports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Israelites support the banners. Right, so that's what it meant. We'll go over that though. We're gonna go over that. I don't want to bombard everybody with everything in one class. We'll take our time. We'll go over the symbols and go over the how to say them. Then we can come back and go over all that. And then hopefully by next class we already have the ABCs. The Lasha One Kodash down. Okay, so sa.
Sa.
Say it. Sa.
Sa.
Cha.
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 Ma.
Ma.
Na.
Na.
Ah. Ba.
Wa.
Alright, because listen, we're gonna get the symbols down because we're gonna come up here with the flashcards and you're gonna have to tell me what the symbols are. Alright? So we gotta get this down. This is gonna get you sharp, man. It gets you sharp. If you want to read some of the Steelers, the Moabite stone, it has the ancient Hebrew on there.
Same.
If you go look up the Moabite stone, it has the ancient writing on there. So you'll be able to go through as you get it and read it. You'll be able to go through and read it yourself like a scholar. All right. Then you get the words and you put it together, man. It's easy, man. We just got to take time, dedicate a little time to it. All right. So we're on sa. We're moving to pa. No. Wait. I'm sorry. We're moving to I. Okay. Abagada hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Kataya.
Kalamana sa.
Kalamana Sa.
Kalamana sa.
Kalamana Sa.
And then the next one is I.
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 I. I.
Right. I.
I.
That's the next one we're on. The I. She's gonna get it up there. What happened? Close everything. The next one is I.
I.
There you go. I.
I.
Okay, so Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya,
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Tazakwa Rashata,
Tazakwa Rashata,
Shariah, are you ready? You ready? You ready? Go. No, you gotta say it loud. We can't hear you. Come on. You gotta say it right. Come on, Ma Willa, you ready?
Yes.
Go, loud. Come on. Abagada Hawaza. Come on, everybody, let's do it. Abagada Hawaza. Kataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tazakwa Rashata. Abagada Hawaza. Kataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tazakwa Rashata. So we're on I. The next one is Pa.
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 Pa,
Pa.
Pa,
Yeah.
Pa,
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata,
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata,
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata,
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata,
Abagada Hawaza.
Kataya, Kalamana Sa'aipa, Tazakwa Rashata,
Tazakwa Rashata. Alright.
Right.
Alright, where we at? We at Pa. We're at Tazah. Tazah. Say it, class. Tazah.
Tazah,
Tazah.
Tazah,
Alright. Tazah.
Oh, Shade is online. She's saying this is so much fun.
Okay. You should have been here. Where you at, my sister?
Where
Alright.
was that when we was learning little Hebrew?
Right. Alright, let's go. Let's go. We gotta get to Tazah. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata,
Tazah.
Tazah,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Tazah.
Tazah,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Tazah.
Tazah,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Tazah.
Tazah,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Ra.
Ra,
Sha.
Sha,
Da.
Da.
I had a brain fart right there for a second. I was like,
Push through.
yeah, I was like, what? Alright, we're at Tazah. Alright, the next one is Kwa. Say it, class. Kwa. We're almost done. Kwa.
Kwa,
Wow.
Kwa.
Kwa,
Everybody together. Kwa.
Kwa,
Alright. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa,
Tazakwa Rashata.
Tazakwa Rashata,
Tazah.
Tazah,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Kwa.
Kwa,
Right. The next one is what? Ra.
Ra,
Ra.
Ra,
Ra.
Ra,
Ra.
Ra,
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza,
Kataya.
Kataya,
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa, Tza, Kwa, Ra.
Tza,
Tza,
Kwa,
Kwa,
Ra.
Ra.
Tza,
Tza,
Kwa,
Kwa,
Ra.
Ra.
Right. And we're going to learn that represents head, Ra'ash. That represents the head, which is Ra'ash. All right. All right. So Ra.
Ra.
And we got two more. Sha.
Sha.
The next one's what?
Sha.
The next one's what?
Sha.
The next one's what? Sha. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana Pa'ai.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tza.
Tza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
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 Ta.
Ta.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tzakwa Rashata.
Come on. Tzakwa Rashata. Tzakwa Rashata.
Remix.
Tzakwa Rashata.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tzakwa Rashata.
Tzakwa Rashata.
Tzakwa Rashata.
Tzakwa Rashata.
All right, so we got that. The last one is Ta. 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 All right. Ta. All right, one more again. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana Pa'ai. Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tza.
Tza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Tha.
Ta.
Tha.
Ta.
Tha.
Ta.
Who can do it on their own?
Bam.
Go ahead, Zion.
Abagada Hawaza. Khataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tzara Kwa Shata.
Tza.
Tza.
Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sha.
Sha.
Tha.
Ta.
Who can do it? Do it one more time. One more time.
Abagada Hawaza. Khataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tzara Rashata.
Go. Go, Rayon. 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 Where you at?
Abagada Hawaza. Tataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tzakwa Rashata.
Yes, sir.
Abagada Hawaza. Tataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa. Tzakwa Rashata. Tzakwa Rashata. You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Abagada Hawaza. Shata.
Look at. Go.
Abagada.
You got it.
Abagada Hawaza. Khataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa. Kowa. Tzakwa Rashata.
Tawa ma'an, which means very good. Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Abagada Hawaza.
Khataya.
Khataya.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Kalamana Sa'aipa.
Tza. Kwa.
Kwa.
Ra. Sha.
Sha.
All right, so we got the Hebrew alphabet down, right? Okay.
That's when you start seeing people.
What's that popped up? Oh, that barely popped up in there. Okay, so, all right, y'all. All right, so you got that, the Hebrew alphabet. Next time we'll come into class and then we'll go over the meanings of them. Okay, thou one will or I will. Okay, so that's the ancient writing and the modern writing. Okay, so y'all got that down. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and conclude class. I'll open it up, see if anybody has any questions online, offline, and if not, we'll go ahead and conclude Sabbath ceremony, and we'll set up the prayers after we go offline. Just wait, let's see if anybody has any questions. All right, and then for us, we're gonna hit the street speaking. What was the speaker? Oh, they're in the back. Okay. I was like, where? I was like, where the speakers at? All right, so we'll wait for a few seconds. Did anybody got any questions? Let it catch up. If not, we thank y'all for tuning in, joining in with us. We had a blast. The Hebrew is always fun. We're gonna keep doing this. We want to get it to where we learn words, but you got to be here. You got to be here on time. That's why, listen, the aspiring soldiers, the ones that join the Hebrew Academy, it is a requirement for the Hebrew Academy. As you see the papers up there on the wall, we got 3 brothers that signed the Hebrew Academy. They had to be here for Sabbath class. Why? Because being priests, you got to know your language. You know what I mean? You have to know your language. So one of the requirements for the Hebrew Academy is you got to be in class 3 times a week. One of those has to be Hebrew. One of those must be the Sabbath class, Sabbath ceremony. Why? Because they learn the prayers, they learn the Hebrew, they learn how to function with the priesthood. All right. So and y'all that are not here, if you were here, then you'll know the prayers. But we don't want to put all that online. All right. So anything? Okay, well, let's salute them online and say shalom to everybody, y'all. Shalom!
Shalom.
Okay, gotta mute it. All right, so if that's it, all right, let's finish up the prayers for the Sabbath ceremony. No. It's this one right here. Right here. It's these. You got this one? Okay. You got yours laminated? Okay. All right. So we're gonna finish up the Sabbath ceremony. So the reading, after the reading is over, after the Hebrew is over.